Hey, party people, broadcasting on time from deep in the heart of Texas. It is now the 11th hour. Do you know where your reality is? Hey guys, what is up? I am your host with the most, Scare Performance, alongside Sandy Diva and Fizzy Pop. Welcome to my birthday extravaganza. This is Freaky Friday. You're hanging with me tonight. Thank you all for being a part of this broadcast. Hey, look, I know some of you guys chiming in about the late start. I don't know what you're talking about. As far as I knew, the timer, just elapsed when I hit the go button. But then again, somehow, I don't know. I control when the broadcast starts. So, if it says 10:15, well, sometimes it, can change. And I actually control that. So technically, I'm never late, baby. I'm always right on time. And, that's just the way it is. Hope you guys are doing good out there. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Had a lot of fun today. Woke up this morning, doing another gig right now, man. I'll tell you more about it later. But anyway, I woke up and I was like checking. I was like, oh, I gotta get on Facebook. It is what it is. So I get on Facebook, man. I had tons of birthday messages. So, instead of doing the generic, I don't know. I went one by one and replied to people, and said thank you. So that took some time. And I gotta tell you, if I get more popular, I'm going to have to do something like it took me 2 hours to reply to everybody on Facebook, just all the little, thank you stuff. That's like, man, dude, I don't know what I'm going to have to do, Fizzy. I'm going to have to limit my friends or something. I think I need to get it down to like a dozen on Facebook or something. That way it's a little easier on my birthday.
Just send the care emoji at everything. That's what I do.
Do I? Care emoji? Are you doing the care emoji? I have not. Did I get a care emoji? No. See, I didn't want to do the care emoji, right? Isn't that's the Corona emoji?
Yeah, but it's so cute. He's holding a little heart in his hands. Yeah. I love the care emoji. I use it for everything.
I bet you do. Yeah, I had a feeling you probably do. I did use it on one. I think was somebody. They got a care emoji. But most of them I just hearted, I went,
I went
old school. Yeah, I went standard. Heart. A lot of smiley faces, a few jokes, Notice some people on Facebook have really long names, like Laura Lynn Lebowski something, right? Like 4 different words in the name, right? I'm like, whoa. Mm-hmm. I was like, so I started playing this game where I took the first 2 letters of everybody's name and I started put them together to see if it made some sort of sound. And one person I said, you sound like Baby Yoda if you do this, just having fun. And so that was my Facebook stuff right there. And then I talked to a few folks out there and it's it was good. Some people out there are really struggling right now. And man, yeah, there's some people that need some prayers, so I'll probably call those people out later and just say, you know what, pray for these people because they need your help.
Yeah, I got cookies on the way this week. It was pure insanity, so I didn't have time to bake, but I have not forgotten your request for cookies.
Oh, cool! All right, dude, am I getting angry peeps too?
Yeah. You can get 3 different kinds because as far as I go with baking, I get bored after 3.
Okay, so I get a choice of 3 different types of cookie. That's amazing. Okay, cool.
Mom's worried that I'm gonna kill you because of your diabetes. She's like, don't
right.
You can't eat that.
Yeah, I know. I do try to, I limit. Like here's the thing. I'm checking myself, all the time, and I'm staying pretty consistent, around the
Yeah,
one.
but those cookies are pure sugar. Just that's all
Oh,
there
right.
is.
No, I know, and I don't do the. I'm real careful. It's still even today. I'm like, it's like if I drink a Coke, I drink these low calorie ones, like no sugar in them, kind
Mhm.
of thing. Like, 1
Well, I'll send
teaspoon of
some
sugar.
freezer bags, and you can put some away for later.
Yeah, it's only one
Yeah.
teaspoon of sugar in my coffee now. That sucks. You know, it's
Oh
like,
no, they all want
I
cookies.
just, yeah, I just don't. I know. I just don't do the whole sugar thing like I was, before, and probably a good thing, So anyway, so yeah, I'm watching what I eat, and yeah, but I can partake in a peep, from time to time. It
Mhm.
shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. And yeah, and let's see. Um, what else? I did go get a cake. I got a cake. I and there's this cake they make at my local bakery. It's let me describe it. It's kind of it's a cream cake. It's like got multiple layers, with that real light frosting in the middle, like
Mhm.
that whipped sort of frosting. It's so good. All right, and they put this like coconut over the outside of it, so it's a white cake with coconut cream, and then there's these strawberries on top, real fresh strawberries, all over the top of it, like piled on. I'm like, oh man. I walked by the bakery and I was like, I'm like,
That
and
just
I
sounds
always get a
really
cake for
good.
girl. I'm just telling you right now, it is amazing. And so I usually buy those cakes for like other people's birthdays. I've never had one for my own birthday. So I was walking by, I'm like, screw it. I'm getting me a cake. So I bought myself a cake. I wanted one, so I bought one. So yeah, so it was cool. And I had a slice of that before the broadcast. So I'm a little, I'll tell you right now, I'm a little high on sugar. Okay. So if I say something, and I act a little crazy, well, you know why. All right. So just putting that out there. Tell you what, let me go ahead and, give this room a quick shout out. Proper shout out. Let's see who we have here. Adam Rose, the big complainer. Another late night 78, Bleach PC Garage. Bob Apples, Catherine Snow, CJ Wood. Dude, that's effed up. Eddie Von Keen, fast paced. Helen Skygazer, Honeymoon, Honey, Honey Anna Maya. Oh, by the way, I saw your post on Facebook, okay? And I meant to comment. I got busy. I'm sorry. Just so you know, Lorraine Lamore, you naughty, naughty girl. I'm not even going to say anything. Goodness gracious. Lothar 900. Let's see. Melissa Hecker, Michael Fontaine, Moonlit Illusion, Pushing Buttons 62, Randy C. There is Richard Melgar with Claw, Salted Cedar, Skabrowski, Teresa Lynch. How you doing? Saw your post too. Sorry, hun. I'm busy. All just busy today. So I did see your stuff too. So just so you know, I just didn't get a chance to reply. True TNT and Wizardry. Randy C is in the house as well, and so many folks here. Mr. Million, did I say them? I'm not sure if I did. Daniel Burdick. Hey, Daniel. Uh, Prayers out to Daniel. Okay, guys, for real, seriously, in all honesty, Daniel's going through a tough time right now, and he's been a part of our community and on Facebook and here. So, you know, yeah, I mean, I don't have to get specific or anything like that. Just seriously, keep him in your prayers, okay? So he's working through some things right now that are kind of tough on him. So, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would do that. All right. Um, let's see here, Sandy. We haven't heard from you. How are you doing, hun?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
Yeah. So, what is going on? I know that. What's going on? You got a curfew right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Um, I
Hmm.
think I was
Tell us
talking to
more.
Curious. Her city has a curfew as well because in Philly right now. They burned down a statue of the former mayor
Mhm.
Rizzo, and yeah, there's some craziness going on in Center City. So you're not allowed outside until 6 a.m.
Oh my goodness! And that's like you said, not far from you, correct? Pretty
About
close, huh?
15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeesh. Yeah, it's a little too close for comfort. Okay. All right. We'll get more into that kind of stuff that's going on here. All I'm just gonna say, people, is right off the bat. Okay. I told you months ago, weeks ago, whenever, I told you that they were going to ramp this thing up, and they wanted to get to a state where we were getting pissed off about something. Okay. Economy, lack of jobs, lack of movement, more control, things like that. They wanted us to overreact to stuff so that they could clamp down harder on us, right? And be justified. And this is why I was calling for everyone to stay calm, and let's, before we get overreactive about stuff, let's, just watch things and just, make sure what we're seeing is factual. I got some stuff to show you tonight. The Fizzy brought to my attention. A few other people on Facebook brought to my attention. Yeah, we need to talk about it. So we will definitely do that here in just a second. But before that, let's see here. In the more of this, excuse me, stuff going on here. This is right here. This was sent to me. Fizzy sent this. The Coffee Club now is show us your apps. If you show our staff that you have the downloaded, what is it?
The Corona tracking app.
Corvid Safe app, you can upgrade your coffee for free. Isn't that lovely? Yeah. So
Yeah,
more of
everyone's
that.
forgotten about Corona though. At least for a little while.
Yeah. What do you mean they've forgotten about it?
Well, before it was all about social distancing. Now there's huge riots, so you can't hardly do both, can you?
Yeah. Well, social distancing is definitely out the window with that, right? I know everybody's right. Oh God. Yeah. Speaking of which, apparently this is out of India. This is the Hill. I don't know who the Hill is, but who the hell is the Hill? Anyway, but nonetheless, it's incredible. Monkeys on the loose in India with stolen coronavirus blood samples. Apparently,
Now, okay.
a troop of monkeys attacked a lab technician in India and stole blood samples of patients who tested positive for COVID-19. Authorities confirmed on Friday. So, monkeys.
Why? Don't monkeys usually steal like food? Why would they take those? That's absolutely ridiculous. I can't. The Corona has just jumped the shark. They needed something else.
No, they were
ridiculous.
trained. They were trained to grab
Trained
that.
monkeys?
Look, did you see those monkeys right there? There they are, right there. This is the video here. Should we play it? I guess we should, right? So let's listen in, shall we? Let me go back. Here we go.
A troop of monkeys attacked a lab technician in India and stole blood samples of patients who tested positive for COVID-19, according to authorities on Friday. Reuters reported that the eccentric attack happened this week after a lab tech.
Look at the monkeys, right? Are these the ones these are the guys,
He's so serious reading that news report. How is he keeping a straight? No.
He's trying to. Well, it's only 30 seconds long, so I imagine he had to get through it as quick as he could before he busts out laughing. Seriously, let's listen.
Was walking on the campus of a state-run medical college. A top medical official at the college said that the monkeys grabbed and fled with blood samples of 4 COVID-19 patients undergoing treatment. Police said it was unclear if the monkeys spilled any of the blood samples.
Oh, God. Oh, geez. Okay, so there we go. So we had a wild troop of monkeys that attacked.
So they just let them go? Like they didn't even try to stop it. They're just like, well, the monkeys got it now. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah. Well, apparently not. Once these monkeys take stuff, it's really difficult to get your stuff back. Do you ever see those ones like people would be in like Indonesia or something? They're visiting a place, and a woman, they usually take like the purses. Like I don't know. They really like purses over there in Indonesia. Those monkeys or something else. They'll snag your stuff and just take off with it. You ever seen that happen? They're thieves, man. Monkeys are thieves. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But
I saw him attack No Neck Ed, but he literally had a bag of bananas. Like who carries a bag of bananas into a monkey park? That is his own fault. But I have no idea why they would want blood samples. Is there no security there that people can just wander in and take things?
well, apparently It's India, man. They got wildlife everywhere, just running amok. But first question: who is No Neck Ed?
Oh, from 90 Day Fiance.
Like, what are you talking? Who the hell is? Why you call him No Neck Ed?
If you saw him, you would know.
Oh, he's got no neck.
Yeah, he does have a necklace. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm pretty smart like that. I wonder why. Yeah, I put two and two together. Okay, so all right, so No Neck Ed. All right, huh? Well, 90 Day. You're still watching that show, huh?
Oh my
Still.
gosh, it's gotten so good. They had to change the time for Keeping Up with the Kardashians because they were losing to 90 Day Fiance. So they had to change their time slot. Yeah, no one really cares about them anymore either.
Nobody cares about them anymore. That's not hard to beat. I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, if you're still watching the Kardashians, I mean, like, I can understand when it first was out, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. But if you're still like looking at that train wreck after all these years, we're like, you've got no life, okay? None. Just like, wow. So 90 Day Fiance, yes, I've caught, but we cover a lot of. What's funny is we seem to have a problem with our guilty pleasures on this channel. Like, we try to cover reality here, but a lot of times I find that my staff and myself seem to be steeped in non-reality, like getaways. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it's a problem. I mean, whether that's sort of a conflict of interest. You ever think about that? Like, you ever think that 90 Day Fiance might be bullshit?
Well, yeah, but you need to turn your brain off sometimes. You go crazy. Some people do it with video games. Some people do it with trash TV. I do it with both.
Oof. Are you making it? Are you? Oh my god!
No, I do both, Dan. I got my Sims. What?
Oh yeah. That's the thing is you do double duty. Not only do you like play Sims, watch 90 Day Fiance. You're getting it from both ends, baby. What?
I read too. I don't just watch garbage.
I know. What do you like to watch? What's your guilty pleasure, Sandy?
Toddlers and Tiaras.
No, I don't watch reality TV.
Oh,
I don't. I'm sorry. I really don't like it. You know why I don't like reality TV, Fizz? Because I like every show I've ever loved was canceled because of reality TV.
Oh.
Like, honestly. So I hate reality TV. I really do.
To watch bad.
But my guilty pleasure, it's watching like Grey's Anatomy or YouTube videos, that sort of stuff. Yeah, Pokemon Go. That's what I do. I'm more the gamer side than the TV side. Yeah.
So you never like look at the kids around you playing Pokemon Go and think, maybe I'm getting a little too old for this.
No, Dan. When I go to raids, they're all 30, 40. There's some 70-year-olds playing. They're all ages.
Really?
I actually don't see kids.
All right. See, I don't know enough.
My stepson and his friends, no interest in Pokemon Go at all.
Yeah, the only reason the kids play is because their parents need an extra account to raid with. Like, they don't want to be there.
Yes. It skips like 20-year-old, like 10 to 20-year-olds. They don't care about it. But like my nephew who's 6, he likes it. And then it jumps up to like 25-year-olds. That's pretty much
I woke up to this email since, we're talking about our guilty pleasures. I play the boat game, as Fizzy calls it.
Yeah, the boats.
The boats.
Yeah, I play boats. And, I got this email from wargaming.net. That's who runs World of Warships. Dear Captain, thank you. And it says, we have recently noticed that you frequently use the term Jap in reference to the Japanese Navy. Wargaming has identified this term as racially derogatory and offensive to persons of Japanese and Asian descent due to its usage in history. We understand it is not your intent to offend or use this term as an insult. Therefore, we will not sanction you for this occurrence. However, we suggest using the term IGN, short for Imperial Japanese Navy, or Japanese instead of avoiding being flagged by our chat monitors. What the fuck is wrong with this world? Holy shit, man. Like, who am I going to offend? I mean, seriously, the term Jap is like, and oh, no way was I talking about like real Japs, like, you know, as a person or people. Like, you'd have to be like fucking 90 years old for me to offend somebody like that. Like, that's crazy talk. Of course, I was talking about Japanese ships. I mean, if I said it, I'm trying to think like, when have I used? Maybe I did. I mean, you know, it's because you have to type fast. Okay. You have people literally shooting stuff at you. Okay. So, you know, it's one of those things. And so I'm sure
I'm not
when I was
racist. I just can't type.
hey,
That-
you know what?
that you're-
Hey, I just can't believe how politically correct. Like, I just cannot believe I'm getting. And I've been like, it was all chat monitor that caught me. Like we recently noticed he used the term a lot, so it must have come up a few times. And now you get the. This isn't really from anybody. This is just like a generated email, right? So it's just like, oh my god, oh I just, you know what? This world needs an enema. You know, seriously, the whole world.
Well, I keep getting
that's
messages that
No, what's up?
I keep getting messages that I should use my white privilege to stop cops from killing. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like 5'2". Am I supposed to stand in the middle of these conflicts and just because I'm white, it's gonna magically just disappear? I don't understand people at all.
I don't either.
Wait.
But I will say, since you're bringing up this whole, you know,
Yeah.
politically correct thing, so what do
Yeah.
you think of the new
What?
thing
God.
that's going that Trump signed into law? The
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. You're talking about the new social media thing.
yes, the social media thing.
The social media bill. Yeah, that the executive order, right?
Yes.
So Trump signed in the executive order. And here's the thing. I knew he was about to sign it. I read up on it. At the time when I read up on it, he hadn't signed it. I, been busy. So I didn't catch anything yet about it. So it's totally new to me, like as far as what's in it and what it entails. I've heard a few blips, but I have not done my own research. So if you know more,
Uh-oh.
what's going on?
I do.
What?
We have a birthday guest. There's
We have a
someone in the
birthday
backstage. He's gonna rap for you.
Oh yeah. Oh sure.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Noah?
Hey, Nova.
Hey, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, dude.
I just
Yeah, we
didn't
just
know
made armor.
you were having a party. That's all.
Well, it's sort of the birthday extravaganza, and Fizzy put a little thing out earlier. It's like, fair birthday up. So,
I see.
here I am.
All right, I'm gonna look it up and see if we can see what this order is about.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw a couple
What's up with
videos
that?
on it, and
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
what I basically got from it is,
Mhm.
he is saying that without a doubt, these are open, like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. They are public squares. They are forums. That was sent down by the courts, so it's not his opinion. That's fact.
Mhm.
And basically, he's invoking laws that are already on the books and updating them to fit social media.
Yeah,
And
it said that
basically,
based on 1996 law of something or other.
Yeah, I saw that. They rule on that
basically-
1996 law. But okay.
right.
Go
So what's
ahead.
going to happen is
Hmm.
people are going to be able to, they won't win in court, I'm sure, but they would be able to sue. Like, for example, I forget who it was. There was a rapper who said, okay, dude, to somebody on Twitter, like to end the conversation, like, okay, dude, whatever, like that. And they were banned from Twitter because the person they said, okay, dude, to was a transgender Antifa member. And they complained to
Oh.
Twitter saying that they misgendered them. and they got banned from Twitter for saying, "Okay, dude, whatever." I mean, that is not. That is an example of something that doesn't fit with the laws on the books. Like there's no
that would not
justifiable
work for
reason
me.
why that person should have been
Yeah,
banned.
because I am a duder. Okay, I'm a total duder. I have said dude my whole life. Like I was saying dude. Like I mean, if you took that word away, I would offend everybody because I'm always
Well,
like,
it's like
you know,
when I say, "Hey guys, what's up?" I
yeah,
say it to
yeah,
all girls. Girls, no, it doesn't matter. Hey
girl,
guys, guys is a
yeah,
general name for people to me.
general,
Just people
generic,
in general.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Well, it addresses those issues. What about the censorship issues, though?
That's part of it. There's like a part A1 and B1. They cannot censor based upon things they don't like. So, in other words, it's saying all opinions are valid unless it has an exact wording, unless it incites violence, is loose, wait,
Okay.
no, lewd or graphic, or there's
Yeah.
like specific wording. And if it doesn't fit that, then they're acting as a publisher, and they will lose their protections. There's a lot
And
to
it's
it.
meant to get away with those.
That's the thing.
It's meant to get
They've
away
been
with
saying,
those fact checker things where it says false
Mhm.
information if you post something. They have no right. I mean, who decides what's true and what isn't? They can't.
Right.
Right. And the thing is,
Well,
what
and
this bill is
they've been
going to
standing on
do.
the idea that, yeah. Well, one second, they've been standing on the idea that they're a private entity, so they can essentially do what they want. They don't have to go by the rules of the Constitution to allow free speech, because in certain companies they have rules, So that's what they act like. They act like, well, we're a corporation,
Well,
so
see, here's the difference, though. Here's the
yeah.
exact difference. They are a private
Okay.
company. That means they can control what's said within the walls of their company. But their platform is an open square for the people. Therefore, they have to follow the Constitution, and their rules are out the window. Do you understand?
I see.
So the
hmm
people, their employees, they can control and say you can't say these things. But on a platform, which is an open square, that is protected by the Constitution, and they cannot go over that. And on top of that, the main part of this bill is that Trump is saying that now the FCC, they have to step in. They have to police this. They not police YouTube, but police the companies from controlling us and censoring us and taking away
Well,
freedom of speech.
I am really curious to see if anything happens. If YouTube backs off a little bit with some of the censorship. What about well, if you lay the groundwork for this and now it becomes wrong to do this now, I wonder what happens to certain channels that have been sort of, I don't know, shadow banned or whatever on YouTube. What about, I wonder if it addresses that type of issue too,
Well,
like
shadow banning is a form of censoring, so I think it does.
Sure.
Even
hard
demonetization,
to prove
because
though.
when you look at it like this, like an open square, an open market where you would have like back in the day stands, like a farmer's market.
Uh,
If you look at it this way, you're going to the farmer's market to sell your goods, and because they don't like what you're saying, you're not allowed to. It's still affecting the free speech, open market censorship. So that may even revoke some of the demonetizations that have happened.
I sure wish you would. Yeah, I mean, this is great. It's a good start, to at least address it, and who knows what'll come out of this. Maybe some good things. I hope. I really wish that we could talk about some of the things like, well, I mean, it's still tough because there's still a private entity, but I wish YouTube would I wish there was some way to address our grievances to real people and not just do it through a chat program. Um, there should be a way to handle certain things, and I wish I hate the fact that they just hide behind their they just hide and they don't allow themselves to ever hear from the public, so therefore it doesn't ever affect them doesn't ever, they don't change policy because guess what? They don't know any better. Well, they know better, but they don't, there's no repercussions from us. And so that really sucks, because I have a lot to say about that. And, getting my channel, shut down for 3 months. I can't live stream over 3 seconds. And I'm like, that right there, we should address some copyright issues. They need to really, curtail that. The copyright stuff is ridiculous. The fact that, I always thought that you could play a part of a song, as a way, or, maybe as an intro or something like that, a portion of it, 7 seconds, I heard, that's not the case. Any bit of anything. And they say, well, if you talk over it, it won't get, no, that's not the way it works. If it catches you, it catches you. It has nothing to do with you talking over anything. While other channels, I'll name one, Jason A, literally puts videos together of news clippings and everything else, right? And he puts this collage of stuff, and never does his channel ever have any issues at all. Never any copyright problems, nothing, right? No problem. Always, always posting videos of everybody's stuff, all this news. If I did what he did, I'd like to make an exact copy of his video, posting his clippings, and just literally do a side-by-side comparison as to who and what gets, taken down. I promise you there's going to be tons of, copyright and probably removed, content on my channel. But other channels can get away with it, and it's just like, yeah, this game isn't fair. It's completely rigged. And that's why so many YouTubers would try to go to other platforms, but they're finding out these other platforms, there's no perfect platform out there. So,
Well,
it's
see,
really hard for us, to get our voices heard. Mm-hmm.
the copyright thing is even less out of date compared to the open forum town square thing. Like it's so far out of date that it doesn't cover anything like this with YouTube and things like that. And they really do need to update it. Like, for example, fair use, it should be if you are critiquing something. And that's what we're doing with the Mandela effect. We're talking about a change to a song.
Girl, it doesn't
That's
matter.
technically a form of critique, but it
I know.
should matter. They need to update that.
Here's what they do.
stuff.
Here's how it works. So they copyright, okay? Then I can contest it. Then they can come back and decide if they want to still continue the copyright, still keep it active. And a lot of times they agree to keep it active. They don't pull back. Then you can go in and go into a dispute with them, essentially. And then once that happens, I don't really know, because I've never gone that far at that point, because I have just tried to lay low and under the radar. Because what can happen is if you go into a dispute and they find that you're wrong, that for whatever reason, and believe me, because of what I've heard from other channels and how dicey it is, it could definitely not go in your favor. If it doesn't go in your favor, you'll get a copyright strike. And then, of course, as you can lose your channel after 3. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You get the first, there's 3 strikes, and then that's it. But they stay there for.
I heard that the strikes don't even matter. That if you go as far as to do the dispute, that if you lose, you could lose your channel. Just like if you
maybe
file a copyright
I think there has
claim
to be
and it's
more.
false.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well, that's
the
what I'm
other way
saying. You
around.
better
They
make
could lose
sure yeah, and that's my on my end. My issue is that I've just wanted to keep my channel up and running and not make too many waves with YouTube, because I've watched too many channels fight and lose. Be a lot bigger channels than me, okay? And so I was like, I already know I'm labeled as a conspiracy theorist. I know I already say what I say on this channel, and I'm able to say it to some degree and get my information out as much as I can, and do it without too much problem. But yeah, that's what I want to do, is keep that going. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to know that we have something backing us so we can fight. Before, it just felt like there was never anybody on our side. Like we were just totally, screwed by the man, basically. Well, with Trump signing this bill, and maybe, some more things coming. Who knows? Maybe all of a sudden we'll stand up and we can start, demanding that, they allow us to have free speech again on these platforms, and stop with the, I'm so triggered about, being misgendered or whatever, that, you lose your channels, you lose your Twitter feeds, whatever, over certain things like this. And some of this stuff is just egregious, and it's really sad. And there's a lot of good channels out there that have tried to make the YouTube experience work for them, and it's just, it's been a horrible over the last few years. So we'll see what happens, and I don't know. I'll have to read more about it and see what there is in there. And I know my ban is going to be lifted here in a few days, okay, on the Scare Performance channel. So now that we have 1,000 subscribers here, and we have over 20,000 on the other channel,
I'll send him a Trump a giraffe, Dan.
I will be simulcasting.
No,
we'll be showing 2 channels. What's up? Yeah,
I'm gonna send President Trump one of my giraffes and be like, "Oh, that's so cute," and then he'll fix the channel.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. Is.
Sure, Fizz. Yeah, I'll be waiting for that. Yeah, what's up?
Guess what I did the other day?
Oh,
don't bother guessing. Just saying.
Okay.
I noticed that my Curious George Mandela Effect video was getting a good handful of hits one day out of the blue. So whatever, little waves go through the crowds. Shit happens, but I thought that's interesting. It made me think about the search on it and stuff, and with how they seem to censor us to some level, or restrict it somewhat, at least. Like, I have seen it and kind of proven it before. So I Google, very simply, Mandela Effect Curious George, right? There's not a ton of videos out there for that, although it's fairly well known and has come up in many other videos. But as far as a specific, Mandela Effect Curious George video, there isn't a ton of them out there. It should come up, right? So I Google it. I Google video, search it, right? And okay, so the way Google does it now, so my video didn't come up, period, out of 6 pages that were showing, right, on the first run. And then, but it did come up twice. It came up on Alternative Memories website, and then some other probably Russian video scam of YouTube website, right? So it's there twice, but my channel, my version, is not on the 6 pages. And then it says, some of them have been omitted. Go ahead and click this here little button. You can see them all. Even though the search results apparently had like 14,000 possibilities. I do that. The possibilities jump up a couple of thousand, not much. But even then, you still, once you go to page 6 the first time around, and second, but whatever, once you get to page 6, it says, it doesn't say 13 or 14,000 anymore. It says 272 results. That's how many were available. 272. So I go, okay, well, let's include your omitted ones then, you douchebags. And I recheck. Well, now it still only goes to 6 pages, and there's 282 results. Or sorry, it was 88. So what's that make? 10 and 6, 16. So they omitted 16. Guess what? Mine shows up now, the very last one. You can't make that up on page 6.
And dude, you're buried, bro. Now what's a buck?
Only 16 in the difference. You can't even get to these other thousands of results, which are probably really nothing to do with it. But
no.
What else I went and did is I checked. I'm like, okay, so who the hell are the other 16, 18 people or whatever, right? They were all nothing, like absolutely nothing to do with Mandela Effect, nothing to do with Curious George, all of them. Like, they were just, I don't even know how they get hit. Maybe people comment stuff on the page, right?
Well, yeah.
So, sorry. And then I repeat this same whole thing. Well, not the whole thing, but I repeat Mandela Effect Curious George search on YouTube. I come up 4th. So Google's censoring me differently than YouTube directly, which is odd.
Well, that's weird considering they're sort of the same entity, right? So what I noticed was like anytime you look for certain things, like I tried that with my channel too, and it was, you Google comes up pretty fast, pretty good, like Scarab, whatever. But nobody's looking for Scarab. Like if you're looking for new subscribers or new viewers or whatever, trying to get your word out there, like whatever, you would think like Mandela Effect, because I've done so many of those videos and so many broadcasts, whatever. But yeah, on YouTube, like it's ridiculous. Like it's like doesn't show up. Now, for some people tell me their feeds do show up. Some people showed me clips where they literally had my videos blocked on their computers. Like it was just blocked. The content wasn't even available. Like somehow it got some sort of tag in there where my videos came up unavailable, even though they were available. Get it? Like that's crazy. Like holy shit, man, that's some censoring, dude. My videos are unavailable. Like they would see them, like if they looked and scrolled far enough down, but they'd be unavailable. Like, huh? So it could have been a Windows. I think it was a Windows 10 system. And there was like maybe some sort of filter on, maybe that didn't allow them to see whatever content. I don't know what they have my content labeled as. Doesn't mean there's all this hidden stuff, man. There's all this. It's a shadow banning sort of way to do it. But yeah, I've noticed it. I mean, it's obvious. Look, people, when I was way smaller, okay, my channel was super small. I was getting 800 to 1,000 in my heyday, okay, of new subscribers just coming to the channel, and stuff like that. And over the year and a half, it has literally dwindled down to nothing, to the point where my subscriber count was going in reverse. Now, if you guys have been with me for any length of time, you realize that this broadcast and what we do here has gotten better and better and better over time. If you go back and look a few years ago, it was, in my opinion, horrendous. I mean, listening to myself, like, oh my God, I did not know what I was doing at all. Okay. I just was winging it. Right. Well, I'm still winging it. Let's not lie. I am winging it right now. But the point is I've gotten better at, what we do, our presentation. So one would think that if your presentation gets better than it was, and your message is more clear and concise, and the panel of people you bring on is entertaining, it's good, everything's better. Yet it doesn't show by the numbers. So, something's definitely being, something's wacky here, very wacky with YouTube. And I saw it coming. I was like, wow. And so, yeah, that's what we're dealing with, man. The censorship is bad, man. It's bad, bad, bad. But, I've decided to stick around on YouTube instead of jump into another platform or something like that. Cause I really none of the platforms I looked at, especially like, what is the one, BitChute? A lot of people went to BitChute. But BitChute doesn't do live streaming for some reason. I don't know what the hang up on that is, but they don't really allow the live stream, right? You can do a video and upload it. But yeah, that was a problem for me. That's why I was like, BitChute probably would have been the best move for me. I probably would have went there if they let me do the live stream. But I was like, man, I'm just gonna post videos on YouTube anyway, so that's where you're gonna be. And that's where everybody's going to go. So no need unless I, get banned or something. So that's that, man. Well, dude, hey man, it's good to see you. And I'm glad you came on because I wanted to show this, dude. This video you sent is ridiculous, bro. Wow.
Which one?
Holy
And
crap.
we still
The
got to
world's
sing
highest
too before
resolution.
Sandy goes.
What?
After
We have
you're
to do
done
what?
with that, we got to sing to you before Sandy has to go to bed.
Not really.
Sing?
No, you don't need to sing. No, there's no need for
I'll
singing.
sing
Biz,
all by myself. What?
Biz, I can stay a little bit later because Joey's going in a little bit later.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
really don't have to. I mean, it's really kind of you.
Is my singing that terrible that you don't even want to hear it?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna make you like, people make me sing "Happy Birthday" everywhere I go. I think Hebrew said he was gonna sing "Happy Birthday" to me. He says it's his turn now. I was like, yeah. Anyway, and I just changed the subject. I was like, nah, bro, it's cool.
For me.
Tell me.
Don't do it. What?
Sorry, I almost forgot I was live.
What did you say, Noble?
I didn't. So you're saying
All right,
you
well-
saw a video or something, right?
Yeah. The world's highest resolution holographic display. The holographic one. Did you see all the symbolism in that freaking video?
Not at all.
Holy
I didn't
shit.
look.
Oof. Oof. Okay. Let me just share. Sharing is caring, people. Here we go. Let me get here. All right. So this is TV is a holographic display, right? It shows like a hologram. Okay. And you don't need glasses apparently to see it either. You just look right at it, and moving holographic display. All right. This is probably what you can expect with the 5G technology, as well as, who knows, some of the new computer systems. Anyway, let's check it out and see. Actually, let me just go through and show you some clips. So they basically interview the guy here. This is a dude. Okay. My first thought was, who the hell wears a hat like that? What is up with that hat, bro? That's the ugliest hat I've ever seen. Jesus. He's in this all white room. He's got this weird, goofy hat. Okay, whatever. So that's the dude. So he says he got the idea when he was a kid. He watched Back to the Future, the scene where the shark comes out and eats Marty McFly. Yeah.
That's
right
the
there.
hat too. He's got a crazy hat. Maybe it's a tribute to Marty.
Maybe it's a tribute to Marty. Okay. So here's this dude right here. Okay. So he's, I don't know, some dude Jesse Oral. Okay. Jesse.
Oral.
He talks about more oral. Yeah. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Get it, Dan. Get it?
It's not. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sure
It's a good take with the knives and the compass.
I am sure that dude's quite familiar with oral.
Look at his
Anyway.
hand signal, Dan.
Yeah. Note the one eye symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Looking through the Oculus, of course. Thanks. Yeah, of course. And let me play this clip from here. Nice
Right,
picture.
the thing is called the looking glass, right?
Yes, of course.
Obviously, I caught that one. Yeah, that's actually how I stumbled upon it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Gotcha. We'll play a little clip.
Because they seem to change the narrative of the looking glass. In fact, they changed the narrative of all the conspiracy UFO BS over the decades. So if we go back, the looking glass is not what it used to be, apparently. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see here.
Field technology mimics the behavior of light as it interacts with real-world objects before arriving at your eyes.
All right. So that's explain the system. Okay. Now they're going to show you how this TV works. All right, here we go.
We like to think of the Looking Glass product line as kind of the Switzerland of the AR, VR hologram universe, where we can take any type of 3D input, and we built enough software infrastructure so that the Looking Glass can run all these types of three-dimensional information. That also is represented in
the Looking Glass. That's wild. So anyway, yeah, three-dimensional holographic images, just crazy, man. Like, what did they say it was 8 dimensions or 4? No, I think it's
45 layers.
45 layers. Okay.
Yeah. And
how
which
we
can create
any
45 different angle perceptions. Probably both 45 left and 45 right. And once you go so far, it goes out of view. It gets blurry.
Oh, I see.
Degrees, like you go so many degrees left or right and still see it nice, and then it gets messed up. Yeah.
This is getting trippy, man. This is like,
any way that
Wow.
folks have developed to interact with three-dimensional information, from the 2D computer field all the way up to what's been done in VR and AR landscape. The Looking Glass supports that.
The display updates at a rate
See what
of 60
happens?
frames per second. Pretty
what's that?
So he was showing like he shines a flashlight on it, and it's proper. It's like shining a flashlight on something. It's weird.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is that each angle, and they have I think 45 segments of it or layers of it for moving left or moving right, but for each angle or incrementally, it's done digitally, it's not analog. So every little bit of a step, every so often, the lighting has to change on what's lit up as a hot spot and what isn't. Just like when you look at something and you move your head around, the hot spot of the lighting changes, right? So this actually happens. So even when you go and shine a flashlight on it, it actually reacts differently. Like it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
It's gonna be weird, man. It's like this is really getting like it's like that Black Mirror episode, where they put the little things on and they they sort of go into a dream state, but they're in like a holographic world, and obviously their minds are being the projection, right, of this, but they're projecting the world in a very super crystal clear, event that you can feel and taste and touch. It's basically like the Matrix, essentially, right? But like literally, they're telling you that they can like create this essential world. I mean, what's going to happen when these things are bigger? I mean, what's the think about the possibilities, like, and here's the thing is, as people, as a human being in this reality, you literally, it's getting to the point where you can seriously see yourself or see them transporting themselves into another world, essentially, right? Like this is going to be like the holodeck, essentially, right? Are that what we're getting to? We're getting to holodeck.
I would be okay with the holodeck. I'm not okay with it all being in your head and being linked up in your head. The holodeck, you're still using your eyes, your nose, and your touch and all that. It's separated. There's a buffer, right? There's a natural buffer created. That's your five senses, right? Natural buffer. You can't fool it. You can't, okay, you can, but you literally have to trick it. You can't lie to it, right? So, but if you're in your head, no, they can just manipulate reality however they want. They make things disappear. They make things show up, whether it's real or not real. And I'm referring to like an augmented reality. But if the whole thing's a Matrix, then yeah, obviously anything can be done. Fizzy's back, by the way.
Oh, did she pop? Oh, I was so focused on this. Okay. Hey, Fizz. What's up?
Hi.
Weird. Okay, just strange stuff. Hey. All right. So just going forward here, he explains a little bit more about it. Let's go.
Standard for most computer displays and TVs.
Even though there isn't a lot of 8K content out there for flat screens, there's a lot of three-dimensional content. Our software infrastructure has a camera, essentially, that takes dozens of different views of that three-dimensional scene, bundles them up into a video signal that then is deconstructed by the optics and electronics of the looking glass itself, so that we can pull all of those perspectives from a virtual environment into the real world environment through the looking glass. This illustrates kind of how...
This is trippy, man. So these display systems, so it's like if I'm not mistaken, it's just like a monitor, right? That you can, right here, like this monitor here. And of course, we're seeing it on a 2D screen, right? I don't have a three-dimensional screen, so it's 2D image showing like a 3D picture. But the point is like, if I was looking at this, Noble, you're telling me like I could literally reach out and almost, this thing's popping out. This thing's coming out.
No, it's not that it's popping out. It's a thick.
No.
It's a thick screen. It's a depth. It's a screen that literally has physical depth. It's in the box, right?
Okay, so it's in the box, so you can walk around.
But the great thing is that when you move your head around, it looks real because it's changing the look of it for your angle and your perception of it. It's really amazing, really nice.
I'm actually watching this video. I just saw part of it before we went on air. I just thought,
I would imagine they'll find ways in the near future to sort of trick it and get the screen not as thick, more and more and more. And that'll probably be a technology thing, right? Oh, a thinner screen, that's still a hologram, right? But who knows how they would ever go about it, because they kind of need that depth to create depth there. That is literally what they're doing.
Okay, so you got your cube symbolism, obviously. Look at this dude with his shirt, with the black and white checkerboard shirt,
There's a skeleton on it.
Wow, it's just the black and white, man.
His t-shirt's a skeleton.
Yeah. Oh, I don't see a skeleton. I see wave.
I see the pelvis and the bottom of the ribs and the backbone right there in the middle, and the colors.
Oh, in the middle. I'm talking about this.
Right.
Right. Okay. So this is it. So this is the display. Interesting. Yeah.
It isn't overly surprising, but it's nice to see kind of where they're at or different angles of where they're at officially and in the public's eye and whatnot, right? Obviously, I'm pretty convinced they can pull off some pretty cool stuff and on large scale, given the right conditions of what they can do with holograms, right? And sound, which makes holograms very convincing. Good.
So it's 8K is what it was, an 8K holographic display. Okay. So not 8 dimensions, 8K. All right. I'm with you. All right, so that's cool. Yeah, just something I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention. You know, some of the techie stuff that's out there. Wild stuff. Yeah. So let's do
As
this.
we all move back into the world,
Whoops, sorry, there's a commercial there. Let's see. Okay. So weird. We all know what's going on. We'll get into this segment here. Everybody knows what's happened over there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Is it Minneapolis? Or,
50 total cities are rioting right now at this moment.
50 total cities, yeah. So here's the thing, and like I told you guys months ago, I said, you know, they want order out of chaos. Remember? And I told you this, and I said they're gonna figure out a way to get people pissed off about something during this time. I was like, there's gonna be a moment that we're gonna have to, you know, make a decision. Now, for a lot of people, they've already made that decision to believe what's happening. Let me show you something real quick. This is the same unit, different badges. These are the cops in question here. The guys that this is the guy I guess killed the guy supposedly. Problem is they different badges.
Yeah, one's park police.
No, neither one of them matches the Minnesota police badge.
These aren't Minnesota cops. Yeah. The point is they've been labeled as Minnesota police officers, but they're not. They're not wearing the same badge.
I know the first two were the park police, and they had a park police vehicle as well. And then they had to call the real cops, and there were certain things they weren't allowed to do, and certain things they weren't allowed to go in dude's vehicle for one.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the picture of the dude? What's that guy's name, Fizzy? What was it?
I have no idea. I know I should know that. Hold on a second. Let me Google it.
Oh, can I mention something to you about that? Very quickly or short, the way dude died, I want to point out, because it doesn't matter what security guard or cop or anybody you are, very basic training trains you, security guards, a bouncer. Dude died from LVR, from a lateral vascular, like they stopped the blood to his brain. They didn't choke him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because he couldn't breathe. It's because they had pressure on the side of his neck. You can knock somebody out just by hitting the side of the neck. You do it kind of right and hard enough, right? So they were knocking them out, stopping those arteries, whatever they are, up the sides of your neck. And that's the whole point of the LVR. Sometimes you can breathe, sometimes you can't, but you'll still knock out. Like you'll just black out because it stops going to your brain. So at the very least, that guy doing it should have known that he was risking brain damage to that person.
Well, this the thing is, like, what I'm trying to say is, what's the name, Fizzy?
I sent you the article. His name is Derek Chauvin. I sent the article, and it has his mugshot. And if you look at the mugshot, it looks nothing like the police officer in the video. Their hairline is different. Their forehead is different. It's not the same person.
Yeah, let's look at that real quick, and then hold on.
And then I got a side by side of him with the mugshot too. I put it in Scarab Crew.
Okay. So let me go.
There's too much shiftiness going on with this case.
Well, I'm saying, like, you know, this is like they started off. Okay, Derek Chauvin. Okay, George Floyd. Okay. So let's get a picture. Let's look at this for a second. George Floyd. Mr. Floyd. Okay, so here are the images here. Give me a second. Just looking some stuff up. I wanted to find a picture. Where is he at? The one that we've all seen. Yeah, this dude right here. Yeah, it's funny. They're not showing his hands. His hands are like the way his hands are together. That's just funny. It's just okay. The color code and everything's here. Let me show it to you on the screen. All right, this is it right here. Come on, man.
How could he be younger in his mugshot? That doesn't. No, the excuses for it don't make any sense. Someone else is taking the fall for this guy. He's probably moving to Mason Island or wherever they put the people.
Yeah, Mason. Yeah, no doubt. Probably. And that's funny because I cannot find the picture of his hands doing that weird, you know, crossover thing. Like it totally like looks symbolic, but I do have this on the screen. Let me see here. Just pull this up here and see if I can. This is the best I
Oh,
can do.
jeez.
What's up?
NYPD officer plows through crowd of protesters in Brooklyn. He just ran them over with his car.
Mm-hmm.
This was about an hour ago.
So this is the Floyd dude right here, and I'm looking for the picture. There he is, right there on the neck. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, the thing is, to be honest, you know, it looked horrific. I'm not gonna lie.
Looks
But
weird that dude has his hands in his pocket. I must add.
Yeah, like that's a weird thing to have, is your hands in your pocket like that. It
Very.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, very strange. As a cop and you're worried about this guy, you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't. Then this dude right here. Here's a picture. Note the like, really, who takes a picture like this with the Corona really in the back, Corona light? I mean, really, how ironic during this time period, right? You can't see his hands, but his hands are like doing the V pattern, you know? Like, I don't know why they crop his hands. A lot of people have made reference to that, you know, that look, you know? And so all these people are, you know, saying that, you know, the cop killed this guy. And I'm saying, well, you know what? Before we jump on this, you know, we all know about Peter Pan, and that big scenario there happened out there in the East Coast. And a lot of people question that, whether certain people get shot in some of these situations look very strange when there's a lack of blood evidence and everything else. But being the fact that they try to get people riled up with protesting at the state capitals for their jobs, it really just didn't go over. I mean, like, a few people went out there, sure, but really it was just a few people out there holding posters and signs and whatever. Just people weren't getting that upset. But, you know, you pull off events like this where people think that cops, again, are killing black people. I'm not saying it didn't or didn't happen, but I'm saying it's a perfect way, okay, of you know, stirring everybody up and getting everybody to protest and riot so that they can bring forth their military
Well, they said,
you know, agenda. What's that, Finn?
They said those two knew each other. That the cop and the man worked together a year ago as security guards somewhere. So they knew each other from before.
Yeah, they
Why
knew
would
each
you
other.
do that to someone? Yeah, I don't
Why
know.
would you somebody you know? Like, yeah, so all this is really kind of strange. Like, there's a lot of shifty stuff, right? All I'm saying is, before we just assume we see something. By the way, I saw a guy break down some of the video. Some of the video looks really doctored. Like, some of the scenes looks like they added stuff. It looks very sketch, man. Okay, I'm here to tell you, this shit looks sketchy. And before we just believe everything we see through a camera lens, okay, we weren't there, we don't know. This could totally be a stage thing to get people riled up, okay, and get people to start looting and rioting and doing what they're doing because they're upset and angry. And they know that this is already a powder cake because of so many things that have happened in the past with cops and minorities, you know, going through some of this stuff. And so this is just, you know, and right now, you know, is there provocateurs that are perhaps amongst these crowds? Didn't you say, Fizzy, there was a dude, and he had looked like he was wearing a headset?
Yeah, let me find that pic.
Find that picture, please. Yeah, so we got Fizzy was telling me about one of the rioters wearing a headset, like he was, you know, in communication. Like I said, they would have provocateurs amongst the rioters, okay, to do even more heinous stuff, because people are in a situation. It's like this: once they see somebody burning something, well, they're like, yeah, I'll burn something too, you know, I'll go along, you know. It's like a pack mentality. So the more and more that they see and they think they can get away with, people will try to get away with it, okay, and they'll sort of, you know, go out and do it. And the cops are standing down and they're not doing anything about it. That's a little sketchy and fishy, because they're like, well, we don't want to incite even more violence. They're just kind of letting it happen in these areas. And now they're bringing the military.
They were.
That's perfect.
They seem to be letting things get going before they ever consider coming around. They're waiting for things to break and burn, right? which is
Yes,
obviously a bunch
yes.
of 20-year-olds just want some free shit and to break stuff, right? But
Well,
I
that's
found
part of it.
a
But
link to
yeah,
that longer
yeah.
version of that picture. I put it in the
Oh, cool.
side there for you.
All right, thanks.
Sorry, you don't think it's just a bunch of young people who want some free shit?
No, I do. I think it is. I think that's who they get to do their dirty work. You know, the Antifa crowds and the people like that are acting like thugs. But there's a good possibility. I'm not saying every one of them, because some people are just following. You know, they're just useful idiots. But they also have people that are the main people, the provocateurs, the one that are working literally with, well, let's just say people who want this to occur, people who are trying to incite violence and get, and to create this situation so that it justifies their reaction. Okay. And their reaction is going to be hard. It's going to be military. It's going to be, National Guard, which they're rolling out right now as I speak, supposedly. That's
No,
what we're
they're
hearing.
sending out on
Yeah.
our local news, because we're right next to Fort Drum. They are sending military. They
They're sending
showed
military. Yeah.
multiple planes full of foot soldiers headed to Minneapolis.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. That's exactly what I said was probably going to happen, because they were looking for a reason to create the order out of chaos. And now what's going to happen when the soldiers get involved? You're going to start fighting the soldiers and the troops? Are you going to bring, what kind of systems are they going to implement during this time period? Are they going to show you that they got microwave weapons and sound weapons that can make you crap yourself? Yeah, you're going to do that? You're going to go up against that? What about are they going to bring it? I mean, I don't know. You know, how far is this going to escalate? We'll see. Let's see. You said you sent links there, Noble. All right. This is the video in question here. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry
but I
about
don't
that.
see what you're talking about with dude's hands. I'm wondering if maybe you've seen a doctored image.
Let me show you. Well,
Oh, it's near 2/3 of the way down that page or something.
oh, is it?
The link I put in
Right.
StreamYard, right?
Right. Got it. Okay. So here is the image. Yeah, there's the one with the hands. All right. So yeah, what I was trying to say is, some people have mentioned that, just like normally, like, Jay-Z does the little Illuminati thing. Well, imagine it being more close together. Somebody mentioned that the hands are, the way they fold their hands like that is some sort of Masonic pose. Am I 100% on that? Well, no. But I find it odd that the one picture they've been showing mostly that I've seen of this dude is this picture.
Is the corona.
The corona.
Yeah.
Which I just thought that is just too symbolic in this time period right now.
It is. And you know what? When I think about it, honestly, I'm surprised that dude would die from that. I could see him getting some brain damage, but it's only one half of the neck. The dude never got the other half of his neck. I don't even know how he could get.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, if the other leg was on the ground, okay, and I'm thinking about I just thought about that.
Like most of his weight.
Yeah, I'm saying most of his weight didn't have to be on his neck. You could literally just put your leg on somebody's neck, right? It doesn't have to be hard, and literally put more weight on the other leg, and shift your weight, and very easily it would look like you've got your knee on their neck. Oh my
God. I forgot something, Dan. Guess
Yeah,
who's doing the autopsy for this guy?
Tell me it's not Carver.
It's the guy that did the Epstein autopsy.
Why?
I'm not even kidding. I have no idea why.
Would the Epstein guy be doing this autopsy?
What city are they all in?
What?
I have no idea.
What kind of world do we live in?
Did the feds come in and take over the investigation or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
and they took that guy. He'll probably say it was a suicide. Sorry. It's just too ridiculous for me right now.
Oh boy. Okay. So you're telling me that Epstein's that guy doing, wouldn't you think that guy's got a lot of clout, Mr. Epstein dude, the autopsy dude? Why don't you think like anybody there could have the credentials to look to see if somebody was choked or not? It's not like a big deal, right? Whereas in the Epstein, whatever. The point is that dude's coming to give you the final report. The Epstein guy, the one that
Yep.
we're already questioning how Epstein died, or if he even did die. Okay, he's probably on Mason Island, like you said. You know, who knows? We don't know for sure. All I know is he just looked like a sleepy Jewish guy on the gurney. Okay, that's what he looked like. He wasn't any. His color. He looked good. That was the best dead guy I've ever seen. When they showed that picture of him, dead on the gurney, and I guess it was one of the first pictures. He looked great. But then a lot of people were pointing out, well, it doesn't really look like Epstein. Like it kind of does, but it could be. I don't know. I didn't really go with that. I was just going with the fact the guy he didn't look dead. All right. You're not going to look very good after a few hours, and you're going to be different color and everything. He had flesh color. He looked like he was sleeping. Okay.
Flesh
That's all it
color.
looked like to me. Yeah. He was flesh color. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So we got that. Let's go to let's see, you posted. Oh, this is the one. Let's look at
Yeah, I
this
stole it. I stole it.
Oh, busted. Now, where is this? Now, this is, well, guys, it says Minneapolis riots are set up. The Red Horse meet. I've already told you this earlier. Military stage all over the country. All right. So this is, I see what you're saying. All right. So right here, this is it right here. I don't know if this is at a riot. This looks like one of those protests, Fizzy.
Probably before it turned into a riot, he probably got a message. See, he's checking his ear. He probably got a message and was like, all right, it's time to start the violence, guys.
Maybe, but these are all white guys.
I know the white people are helping the protest because it's our privilege. So we have to do it.
Oh, okay. No, they've just been reporting that it was all happening in black run areas, or whatever. I'm just okay. So I'm not saying there aren't white protesters and white vandals. I'm just saying this looks like one of those let us work protests. Yeah.
But see, he's got the little thing on his ear, and he's talking to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It is kind of sketch. I mean, dude, who wears the little curly Q thing around the head anymore? You would think by now they've got something more inconspicuous in our government.
Maybe they thought with the mask and the hat that they wouldn't see it there.
Yeah. Isn't it great that you can it's socially acceptable to be wearing face coverings everywhere? Like, isn't that perfect? God, what a perfect time to start violence right now, when you can completely walk around in our world with your face covered.
Remember your face.
Yeah, I thought of that.
Sketchy. Yeah, and now all this is taking place, and nobody can be identified, and everybody's being, really weird. If this was happening like a few months ago, well, say 6 months ago, you're walking around like that, people would be like, "Why are you walking around like that?" Like or what are you about to do, dude? You about to commit some crime? Anyway, very strange.
Because the last protests, they were calling them cowards because they would wear bandanas around their face. But now, they don't have to show their faces. So I think that makes them a little more aggressive than normal because nobody's going to know who they are.
Right. All right, here's the other image. This is the one where this is a guy arrested, apparently, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're trying to say is it really doesn't look like the same guy. I mean,
look at the hairline and everything.
The hairline definitely doesn't look right. Holy cow. They do look they look similar. I'll give you that, but you guys judge for yourselves. What do you think? Are these the same dudes? This guy looks like, I don't know. This guy looks like a Woody Harrelson,
even if it was a younger picture or whatever they're trying to say, your hairline never changes that drastically.
Yeah.
In your life, like it can recede a lot, but his is more of a pointed hairline. That guy's just flat hairline. I don't know what to think.
I think
I don't think it's the same guy.
Even more so than the hairline, the head is completely shaped different.
Yeah,
The
well,
one- the
I
guy
know.
on the
But I'm
left
thinking like,
has like an
Yeah.
oval head.
yeah,
That's horrible.
yeah, exactly. No, it doesn't. It's weird. I mean, the nose is pretty close because both got that little hump right there. but like, and it's there. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell with the nose, but I can see a little hump. Okay, so I can go with that. But look at the ears. The ears. This guy's ears poke out way more than this dude's right here. Your ears aren't going to change. His flail out a little bit more. You know, he's got the Brian Staveley ear, and then you got growling.
I love how you just throw little digs at people while you're chatting.
I do. I know. I just throw it in there. You know, just a little bit. You know, I gotta have fun. It's good, crazy times, man. What are you gonna do? You know,
Scarab called me a murdering cop.
Scarab exposed.
Scarab exposed.
But you are comparing him to a murdering cop, right? That's pretty. That's
Am I
No,
that what I'm
ear.
doing? Essentially, I'm
This
oh,
isn't
sorry.
a cop. This is a murdering cop. This is like as low as you
murdering
can in our world. Yeah.
Oh, murdering cop. Well, that's still. I'd say the jury's still out on that. I'm still, you know, like, look, man, I don't believe nothing. It's so funny because we all know how fake our media is, but then they put out stories that sometimes we're just like, that's real. Well, hold on a second, you know, before we get too excited here. Remember, this is fucking the mainstream media, right? These are the same people that put out scripts that literally have talking heads reading teleprompters, like just reciting what they want, whatever the corporation wants them to say. So these aren't real reporters. None of them are, right? None of them dig the way we do. We're more real reporters right here on this broadcast. Hell, most of us that at least search and research do more of that stuff than they do in 1 week than they've probably done in a year. Okay, if you've ever just researched the Mandela effect, you know, I'm just saying, like, none of these guys. I mean, it's funny. I had a discussion with somebody, and you know, they're more right leaning, so they were like saying, you know, they were thinking, well, you know, they were standing up for Fox News. I was like, I'm like, well, hold on, okay, it's all the same. You realize it, like, you have one or the other. Okay, both are fake as fuck. If you think Hannity is like somehow sitting there digging every day, looking for to give you the good.
He's a saint. He's a prophet.
Yeah, right. Of course,
him and Trump. You didn't know that?
Dude, that's what I mean. It's like people can't see through it. It's like, look, man. If CNN is fake news, and so are the rest of them, okay, I'll give you that. But you know, let's not. You got to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Because I hear it from a couple people I know. I hear these arguments. I'm like, they set people up with the stupidest effing arguments on purpose, right? So they're all idiots, and they have things to argue against each other, but they're all arguing, like, all the arguments and the logic is nonsense. It's leaving out massive factors every time. Like, it's so horrifically stupid. I think of an example sometime, but it's unbelievable.
Well, they're always trying to pit, you know, they're pitting like a lot of like issues just to, like, none of these are really non-issue. For the most part, typically it's like a small portion of our population like thinks this way, but it seems like they for some reason want to throw that in their face, like, and it's constant, like it's way too much, it's way overdriven, like those ideas. For instance, whatever you feel about LBGTQ, whatever, however you feel about it, you know what, I don't think anybody would normally necessarily care what they thought, but the fact is the media pushes in our face 24/7 what to think about it. And, you know, it's just overdone. It's like, dude, it's a very small, minute portion of the population. The majority of people could care less one way or the other. Just, you know, but they have to put, you know, they have to just drive it home all the time. And it's just like, why? You know, and I don't know. I think they just do it just to try to you know, irritate people, you know, constantly. Because in my opinion, they don't really talk about real issues or things that are going on that really affect the majority of the people. It just seems to be affecting small pockets of people. And, you know, none of it ever seems to. My point is, your voice is never heard. Your ideas are never brought up. Is, you know, I think there's a lot of people that would get along if you would allow the majority of the majority to have at least some say in the conversation. I think we could all agree on a lot of stuff, but then they pit left and right, and men against women. And they got, you know, gays versus straights, blacks versus whites. It's like, man, let's divide us all up. And it's like, holy shit. So by the time you start talking to people, it's really hard to find people that have an open mind about everything, and kind of see things, like see the world as the whole scope of everything, and realize that not everything we see is you should have an emotional response to about so many things. You should kind of look at things, yes, and see it, but kind of look at things objectively, and I don't think we do that enough. And people are very reactive, as you can see, with what's taking place in the news. And I don't know.
Damn.
I think they want people to get rioting. What's up?
This story just got a little weirder.
Well, what happened? What's going on?
Between the cop and the victim knowing each other in real life, they did porn together also.
They did what?
They did porn together.
Fizzy, what
Beautiful. Okay, where are you getting this information? I gotta know. Fizzy.
It's a porn website, isn't it?
It's from Pornhub.
I'm just gonna take a shot. Fake.
It could be fake, all right, but come on. At this point, I don't even know.
Well, I mean, like, does it show some video of these guys together?
If you search Kimberly Brinks BBC Texas style, he'll show up in a video.
No,
had to be Texas style.
I'm gonna.
I'm going for it.
Style? Go for it, girl. I have to figure out what Texas style is. I've never used that.
Don't know.
Hey, no. I don't know. I didn't know there was a Texas style. The only way I thought Texas style was is if I did it with a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, and chaps. I think.
Isn't that Texas style? Cowboy hat, during the act. I'm kidding.
I don't really want a 1,000 viruses on my computer, but I need to know if this is real.
Yeehaw, cowboy.
It should be trending, right?
Pornhub's safe for your computer. It's just not safe for your mind.
How do you know, Noel?
Because it's been around a long time.
Okay.
Probably it's one of the top 5, I would imagine. Like, it has to be. Pornhub's huge. It's been around. It's the original, right? It's a single corporation.
It's the original.
No, well, you can. What's his face has brought this up? Matt has brought this up. It's clear that there's like money being invested to give people porn for free, right?
No.
And we don't know why. The ads, there's no way the ads are doing a cover.
Isn't it like YouTube? Isn't it like YouTube for porn stars? Or something like that?
Yeah,
whatever. I don't know. All this shit's just a bunch of videos. But the fact is that they're running these billion user servers. And like, what the hell's paying for? It's massive. It's a massive, it's very comparable to the size of YouTube. You could put the top few together. It's a massive traffic. Who's running this stuff that they just give you for free? A couple ads.
Yeah, I like Mandela Miles' answer. Yeah, Mandela Miles. Yeah, that's it.
Well, Kimberly Brinks definitely exists.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, who is Kimberly Brinks? Who is that person?
The woman in the video with him.
The woman in the video. Oh, I wasn't aware of their woman. I just saw the Chinese dude and that guy.
No, the police. No, the policeman did a porn with a woman named Kimberly Brinks.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was.
And
yeah,
they were both. They were both on this site with her. I can't look at these. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Biz, for taking one for the team. Yeah, sorry.
Underwater, under a horse, like things that should not happen.
A horse? Is that Texas style?
I hope not, Dan.
No,
I really
Texas,
hope
is
not.
Is that their definition of Texas style? Bringing in a pony? I mean, goodness gracious. Oh my God. Okay. Well,
I think of more Russian, Ukrainian, or something.
Yeah, that's what killed Catherine the Great.
What? Excuse me?
Where is this going?
Right. Where is this going? Who killed Catherine? What did
A horse in Russia.
Killed Catherine the Great.
No.
Yeah.
By how? Never mind. Don't answer that.
Let's sing happy birthday before your birthday ends.
It's the first time that's ever sounded like a good idea. As much as I don't want to.
I had no idea that Catherine the Great was such a freak. Sorry.
It's
Had
a
no
vicious, it was a vicious rumor. It never happened.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, Busy, that's a myth. Okay.
Yeah, I said vicious rumor because she was a great
Vicious
queen
rumor,
or empress or whatever they have over there.
whatever they are. Yeah. She was
All right, are you ready, Sandy?
Ready for what?
We're gonna sing happy birthday to just
so glad everybody's
Try
on the same page.
try
on
to
it.
get away
man,
the
you guys are-
awkwardness of all of that.
Right. It's like, man, you guys are sharp as whips right now. I'm telling you. Oh, ready for what?
I was just looking at the van.
Sandy, stay away.
Well,
No,
all
I
right,
was
that-
watching the
that-
van store burning in Philly.
Yeah,
Oh.
that
Burned down a
information
van
came
store.
from Joanne Steen, so you're welcome for that. I'm putting
What's that?
all the blame on her. Okay, that
Oh,
information about the website came from Joanne.
oh,
so-
Joanne. Oh, gotta watch Joanne.
All right,
All right.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You guys stop.
Happy birthday, dear Daniel.
You're at performance.
Happy birthday to
Look at
you.
Daniel.
Oh my god. Thank you so much. Oh, jeez. Oh guys. Oh man. that was
We're
great.
a little out of sync, but
Oh
we're
my
still-
God.
no, yeah, it's tough when you're doing it live. I know. It's really rough. Oh, you guys are funny. And thank you all for that. Hey, listen, guys, it's time to open up the phone lines. Let me go ahead and unlock this puppy.
Yeah, Joanne, explain yourself.
Yeah,
Or
Joanne.
don't.
Or
Hey, you
don't,
know-
yeah.
Crossed my mind. I can totally change the mood for you. I won't go too deep. I was watching something I wouldn't typically watch. It was a 60 Minutes on a serial killer. I don't normally watch any horror movies or killer stuff, but it was really amazing. The girls at Black Backpacker Girls, and you guys might have heard about this story. Apparently, it happened in 2016. Freaking heroine, freaking girl. Like they were amazing. What they pulled off, and very lucky, and who knows how they managed to live with that. Amazing story. Scary and just retarded. Obviously some mental demonic issues or something going on. I'm wondering, and then another thing came up. It was also Australia. I'm wondering, and it is actually the same damn region, just south of Adelaide. I'm wondering if I don't want to just say crime. Let's say sort of like the horrendous, murderous or bloody or whatever type of crime, right? Like, and not necessarily someone has to end up dead, but typically, right? So like demonic, let's say, demonic crime, if you can classify that. But I'm wondering if there was a spike in it during that 2016 period, because that's when both of these stories came out, and they're both fairly unusual. And I'm wondering if that period triggered some people to do some bad stuff or go beyond, what they normally would.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you this story. I didn't send you this story, Noble, but I was looking around. Sometimes you just run into some random videos just like that. But I was going to share with you guys, and I didn't have a chance to do it. But I had never in my life heard this story. It almost seems kind of, dare I say, Mandela-ish. But I'm not going to say it's Mandela. I'm just saying, like, wow, I can't believe I've never heard of this. Did you guys ever hear about? Let me just throw out this scenario. Guy charters a plane in Florida in I'm gonna say like 2003-ish, maybe like somewhere like maybe 2006 or somewhere like, yeah. So him and his family are on this chartered plane. It's I want to say it's a two-prop little commuter plane. And the guy, the pilot, shortly after, literally just after takeoff, freaking dies behind the wheel, bro, of this plane. The guy just happened to be sitting he was sitting up front he was sitting with the guy because he actually knew a little bit about planes and they talked a little bit. So he invited him to sit in the co-pilot seat if he'd like, So he did. He took him up on his offer. So thank God he was sitting in the co-pilot seat. And dude just died right there. He had a heart attack. Okay. Poor guy. But then the thing that even made the story even more crazy, it's all recorded. And the other guy just happened to have enough training in a Cessna, okay, to you figure out how to, use the radio, call in for help, get instructions on how to fly this plane, because apparently this plane is a lot more advanced than a Cessna. Even though everything's kind of still there, there's a lot more to it. But they were able to coach him back slowly. He couldn't use any of the autopilot features or anything like that, so he had to do it by hand. And he cruised back down and he landed at one of the Miami airport, I think it is, somewhere. And landed his family safely. And there was all this stuff about it. I mean, I had never in my life seen that story. It has over like 17 million views and everything. It is phenomenal. It's a really great story. I'll pull it up in my history here. I'll post a link for it. If you guys have ever heard it, it's really great, man. I think they're going to even make a movie about it, maybe coming out really soon. And if they do, it's just fantastic. And when you listen to the whole audio, the guy is so funny, man. You can tell like he's scared, but he's also trying to stay cool at the same time. He's you can tell he's a real guy. It was just a fantastic story. And he landed the plane and his family was saved. And they were, unfortunately, they were not able to resuscitate the pilot. He had already passed away, but really good story and really cool. But I had never in my life heard about that happening. I just thought this would have been all over the news. I don't know how I missed it. It's kind of strange, but not saying it's, I would definitely link it. Suso just pointed out. Yes, I will. Very good. So let's see what we got here. We have Clearwater, Florida is up next. The Clearwater. I think I know what this is. It sounds like Glowings. Is this you, Glowings?
Yes.
Hey, girl, what's going on?
I call in to say happy birthday.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. How are you
Gemini.
doing? Fellow, yeah.
Oh,
The Geminis, that's what I am. I found out that I was based off my birth records. Okay, for all those people that like do a little astrology, my my rising sign is Sagittarius. That makes sense. I don't know anything about that. It's how people told me. Like, okay, you're a Sagittarius. So there you go. So Sagittarius.
That's a rising sign.
Yeah.
What's your moon sign?
I think that's moon sign. Is that moon sign? Yeah, maybe it's moon sign. Moon sign.
Okay.
Sagittarius.
Because mine's weird. I'm a Gemini and my moon's a Pisces, so I'm fucked up.
Oof. Pisces. What? Oh my gosh.
Right?
You're certifiably crazy.
World, right?
Astronomically speaking, of course. Astrologically speaking, you're nuts. But don't worry, we still love you. Listen,
makes a lot of sense, right?
Huh? What's that?
Makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Now it's starting the picture is starting to become a little clearer, I will say, so that's good. Yeah, I don't know about that stuff, but like I know there's a lot of people that like to watch those videos. Those girls are so funny. They're always so entertaining. They always say, "Hi guys, this is your sign," blah blah blah, and you catch them on YouTube sometimes. But I don't even know about that stuff really. But people have pointed. They've always wanted to know, like, when I've been asked a lot, like, when was I born, like what time of night, that type of thing. Like that is a very specific sort of thing, right? And so I finally got my mother to get my birth certificate and look it up, and then I passed along the information, and I was told that I was a Gemini sun, right, and Sagittarius moon. If that makes sense. So
what's the Mandela for me is my birth time. I went from 2:55 a.m. to 2:55 p.m.
Well, that'd be a different day, wouldn't it? Though.
No.
Well, yeah.
You have the AM section of you have a full 24 hours in a day, right? So instead of being AM, it was now in the afternoon. Instead of being
I
like 3
see.
o'clock in the morning, now 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So
But
it moved a whole 12 hours. And I was always the one that was in the morning.
Hmm.
My cousin was the one that was in the afternoon, like at like 4 p.m. We were not that close to each other in the afternoon. I was always like the morning baby. And then like my aunt went into labor and it's like, oh, well, your cousin just had a baby. And she's like, I don't give a shit. I'm in labor now. I don't care, you know? So me and my cousin were born on the same day. And that was always like a funny story. But that's why I was like, it was like I was the morning baby. She was the afternoon. And we were not like an hour apart from one another.
I've heard, I had a guy had some evidence, Mandela related. He doesn't know how this happened because he's an EMT and they check you, they do background checks on you because obviously, important job.
Mm-hmm.
And he, submitted all his information. He's worked multiple jobs, had the same social security card his whole life, right? Always showing that card as identification, because that's typically what you do in the United States. You show your driver's license, at least social security or military ID or something. Typically it's social security card if you haven't, you don't have military ID. But nonetheless, he noticed his social security card had the wrong initial on it, middle initial. So kind of weird. Like, how do you get, like that wouldn't even match up with your, you would think like somebody might catch that. Is it just a glitch? Maybe it's like, maybe nobody caught it, whatever. He just saw it, noticed it after the Mandela stuff happened. But he sent me a picture of it. He scratched out everything. He's like, look, here's my name with it, doesn't match my ID. I was like, weird. That's kind of strange. I don't know. You thought maybe the middle initial isn't really a big deal. Maybe focus on the number. I don't know. But is it possible?
Kind of is.
I would think.
Like just getting your. I guess the numbers is the most important part.
Numbers are most important, but I mean, maybe nowadays they pay attention to that stuff. Well, they probably pay more attention to it now. Maybe I think he's been in the EMT a while. He was a guy that came out and told me, like, when the Mandela effect first happened, he contacted me. And he was literally like, the work was so strange, what he was dealing with. He had a situation where a lady, they were called out to a house because this lady was freaking out. She woke up and she didn't know who her husband was. I kid you not. And he swears, dude, he was like, it was the craziest thing. I mean, like, she was losing it. She was like, why are you in my house? Freaking out. Like 1 minute she was, fine. They went to bed. When she woke up next to somebody, she jumped out of bed and she lost her shit. She didn't know who this guy was. And then they had to sedate her. She was going so crazy, right? And then when she woke back up, she remembered everything just clearly and fine. But for that moment, there was a moment where she did not even know who her husband was, or at least claimed she did. And in fact, the police came out there, the EMTs, they were all called to look at it. And we were sort of I've talked about this story before because I was like so concerned, like, wow, is this a situation? And of course, as you know, there were reports about people who had suffered like been through comas or whatever, and they wake up and they speak another language, people like a whole new language. They just know it. Like, that's insane to know that language, especially when you consider, like, I think dude was in Australia, maybe it was an Australian guy, and Richard might be well aware of this. I don't know, but I think there was an Australian guy that woke up and he was in a coma, and he woke up speaking Mandarin Chinese, man. Like, that's not the easiest language to learn. Okay. And fluently, to the point where, it was just like, he didn't even know, English. Like, he spoke Mandarin.
I've heard of other ones, like,
that's crazy.
Well, like, is either head injury or something where they wake up and like all of a sudden they become like, they're like mathematically fluent and they, could barely add 2 + 2 before, but now they're like solving massive equations, or
I think I've heard of those.
To, like taste colors or see color. When people talk and like weird stuff like that. So
crazy.
I wonder how much of your brain's not really being activated,
I don't know. Is it like one of those phenomenon movie situations? Is that possible that that we can, sometimes people can activate certain things, other parts of the brain that, you never know what we're really taking in, and what's being, I guess, locked away back there, and if you could access more of it quicker or whatever, who knows? I mean, is it possible? Maybe, and it always seems to be people like, that there's some type of situation where they're in a coma or whatever. But in this lady's situation, it was just, she woke up and she just had this, she just didn't remember her husband. And so I wondered at that point, like, because of what I had dealt with and the Mandela effect and the world I was apparently becoming apparent to me, I was wondering if we were going to start seeing more people experiencing what this lady did, like, are we going to wake up and not remember certain things? The things going to be so strange. I mean, you can wake up and you're in a different relationship. It's like, how crazy could it get? I mean, we've obviously talking about lots of crazy, shifty shit, right? And so, that's not out of the realm of possibility in all things considered. Who knows? It's weird. But you hear about this kind of stuff and we think, oh, this person went insane, but yeah.
There's all kinds of history that's like just popping up. Like you were just telling a story, like I never heard of this before. It's cool.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But like all throughout history, there's like things that are weirdly popping up. Like the razzle dazzle. Who's ever heard of that? I mean, like things like that just kind of like
well, especially when
you don't think to look at it until you think about it, like it's weird.
I'm a history buff, I'm a history buff. So, like I would have thought that I would have run into, somewhere down the line, I would have seen, I've seen so much World War II footage and stuff like that, like I just was shocked I didn't know about dazzle ships. Never had heard of the dazzle or seen a dazzle ship or anything, or even seen that pattern per se, except maybe here and there, like, I don't know. I'm sure I'd seen the pattern, but never on something else. I mean, I kind of understand where the pattern came from now. I get it. It's like, wow, that's crazy. It's on all these ships. And then you read why they did it. And it's just like changes in, our history are very odd. It's almost so much to take in. You have to step away sometimes. Like I love, but now it's changed. It's just like when they did they found all the videotapes a while back of all the colorized. Well, it's not even colorized. It's now color video of World War II. It was all black and white when I was growing up. All black and white video. There was no color. And then I thought they colorized it. And then I found out, no, they actually had color video now. So it turned out, at first I thought it was just done, colorized, but
after.
No. Yeah. But now there's color video everywhere. Real crisp stuff, Hitler at home chilling, that kind of stuff. Weird. And now you can see Hitler's blue eyes, even though we were told differently and taught differently. So it's weird, it's a strange stuff that's going on. So what else is happening with you, girl? Anything going on in your neck of the woods? Anything return to normal? Are things getting better out there?
Oh my God. Yeah. Actually,
good.
We're probably more normal. Probably why we're not actually burning down anywhere. I mean, we've kind of, most of May was opening up. They call them phases, whatever. But most of, I think, Memorial Day weekend was pretty much wide open. I mean, there's no way anybody was socially distancing on that weekend at all. It was packed like a madhouse. And most of the bars that could like have, some kind of an open air seating type of arrangement or something that they could kind of claim was open. I don't know. It's been pretty open. And I think next week, most of the parks will be finally opened. Like they opened Legoland, they opened up the zoo, they opened up that crazy lady, the cat lady place, the tiger lady.
Oh, they did. They got the tiger lady place open up.
Big cat. Yeah,
okay.
You can go see the big cats and the crazy lady.
Wow.
Of course, the important things in life. So I'm thinking because we're starting to turn more into normal, like we're not such on a tinderbox like a lot of other places are. But I did hear that, like, for some reason, like this one state did a big announcement in Oklahoma that on Monday they're going to start handing out. This can probably be pretty ugly, but they're going to start doing like the police are going to start doing evictions. And then once they get their eviction, they have 48 hours to remove themselves from any of the properties. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, it's Oklahoma. These people have guns out there. Like, I don't know if that's too wise to do right about now. I don't know. It'd be an interesting time. So I don't know.
Well, I'm glad things are returning to normal. I went to the store today.
Yes.
Yes, I went to the store, and because you guys know I bought my amazing birthday cake with the strawberries. I'm so excited about that. So good.
Cool.
But yes, it is amazing, stupendous. I'm talking like I talk like Trump when I talk about birthday cake. It was the greatest cake ever. So it was fabulous. So yeah, I was there, and I noticed that most of the people in there now, most of the people walking around are not wearing the COVID
They're not
mask.
wearing masks.
No. And in fact, the only ones that were wearing masks were the employees, and it was just
Yes,
stupid.
the employees are wearing them because they
Oh,
kind of
but
have
they've-
to, like
well,
mandated
they-
thing.
But see, it's not necessary, because you know as well as I do that the mask only stops the virus from leaving your mouth, you affecting others. It doesn't keep you from getting the virus. So what's the point if you're checking if you're checking your employees, you know what I mean, and you're look, how should I say this? I'm back in school right now. I'm doing some training, okay? And they're at the school they're mandating that we wear masks, okay?
Oh boy.
I am doing this, okay, to get through class. It's basically what it is. I cut out it's really the most comfortable way I could figure out how to do this. The school dictates that we must do it. Okay. I've got to go through this training in order to get a job. Okay. That's what's happening. Right. I don't want to do this. Believe me. However, nor do the instructors. Nobody it's the stupidest thing ever. But what they will let you do is use a covering. Now, what I'm doing is a t-shirt, very thin, and it's cut out in the shape of one of those masks, the thicker ones, the neoprene ones.
Yeah.
And it just wraps around and it lays on the face, and it's very comfortable. Breathe right through it, no problem. And that's what I'm using. Okay. I'm not using the surgical mask or anything like that. But honestly, wearing those surgical masks, you're supposed to, I believe they recommend that you get rid of them every 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Not supposed to keep breathing. Yeah, exactly. So you're not supposed to have this on, and they want the students to, they told me that. So look, at one point I'm fighting against this the best I can. Okay. Nobody wants to do this. It's the school that's sort of making everybody do this. Now, I'm not happy about it, but I told the instructor, I said, look, I can't wear that mask, that surgical mask. And there's, I'm going to stand up when it comes to that. I'm going to tell them I can't. It's because another thing it's doing too is when I did try the surgical mask, okay, my face started breaking out. I started getting red spots on it. It's not, I don't know what it is. It's itching the crap out of me. I took it off. I noticed my face was red around those areas. It's like bright, I was starting to get like a little rash. So I was like, man, I don't want to do this. And so I think I'm going to, go on the grounds that the thing's breaking me out, man. And I can't wear it. I'm just going to wear the cover. Look, I'll wear the covering thing, but I still think that sucks too. It's just the whole class is sitting there, right? And we got these we're like muzzled, we're like dogs, muzzled. It's so dehumanizing, and I hate it. And I'm just, believe me, I'm fighting against it spiritually. I hate the fact that we had to do this, but unfortunately I have to do this. This is specialized training, and I have to go through this class. And it's the only way to get the training I need to do what I got to do. So
You know,
gotta,
I have
yeah.
to say, after all these protests and seeing all these massive amounts of people all on top of each other, screaming and shouting at each other and screaming at the cops and tear gas and people coughing and everything, if they tell you one more time that you need to socially distance or wear a mask or do any of these other crazy things after seeing all of these protests, I think everybody should just like, I don't know. What do you say about that? I mean, you've got
it's high time that we start standing up. I mean, and doing some real, you know, like, you know, like standing against, you know, these ideas. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that, you know, people are still too nervous. Like when you're at the store, you get near somebody, they back away from you because you're getting within, you know, type of thing. Like, I hate that. What are we gonna be what's next? What's next? Are we gonna be afraid? Is it gonna be the well, it's already the coronavirus, I guess. What's it gonna be the sun virus? Are we gonna be afraid of a shadow now? You can't cast a shadow? Is that
I mean,
because you know, it's ridiculous.
I think once you start loosening up things or whatever, like, I mean, we've kind of pretty much gone back to somewhat normal here. I mean, occasionally you'll see somebody with a mask. Usually they're from somebody up north and they get down here and they realize nobody's wearing a mask and they throw it away. There's like a few places, like, you know, like at the gas station or whatever, that they still require the people to wear one. But other than, and I still have like my little plexiglass shield at the desk or whatever, which, whatever, I don't care. It's like a barrier before someone comes over this counter and chokes me or something, so I don't really mind that barrier.
You got a you have a plexiglass shield. Oh, you're talking about the face shield. You're not wearing one of those like welders helmets.
No. It's just like a you know, like a clear plexiglass shield thing or whatever they put up at the front desk, so people wouldn't like breathe directly on you or cough on you, which nobody has. Like, nobody's walked in there like sick or anything like that, so that's a good thing. But I kind of feel like people are now relaxing a little bit more because they've gone out to a bar, they've gone to eat, or they've gone to the beach, and they've hung out and stuff like that. So I don't see people like squirmishing away from each other so much at the stores anymore. You know, like it's like whatever. There's nobody like they used to stand there and like spray down the carts and stuff like that and wipe everything down. Now they don't have anybody doing that anymore, and I'm like, I kind of miss that little element, but. You know, whatever.
They keep saying more and more people are getting it. They keep. It's like this running tally they got. It's almost like a terror alert.
Yeah.
You get to watch on television every day.
But they
and I'm saying it's
80% chance that it's unreliable. So I'm like, well, how can you trust the number that they're putting up when you like?
Exactly.
I mean, we've already seen that like a goat had it and like a piece of fruit had it. So I mean, you know that the test is unreliable. Over here, they had like a big hospital group throw out 25,000 of them because the tests were bad. So
I talked to a lady today. She was going to go get her family tested because she thinks they got it months ago. Okay, because they had some sort of real bad respiratory thing that they got over, and so she thought, "Oh my God!" And I said to her, I actually talked to her and I said, "Listen, why do you want to do this?" Because somebody told me, and this is crazy. But somebody told me that their friend was going to do this, and they actually got her on the phone to talk to me so that I could talk to her and explain why she doesn't need to do it. Because she was so concerned for her that this person was like, would you talk to her, Dan? Because, you know, you can explain it better. So I was like, okay. So I talked to her and I said, look, why do you want to go and put yourself on a list? Because let's just say you did have it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You don't have it now.
Yeah.
If you built up antibody, yay, great. I said, you do not want to be on some effing list. I said, you think HIPAA is going to protect you? And she says, well, you know, it should. It's about privacy. I said, no, it's not. Read it. And, you know, of course, we all know about HIPAA and the Mandela effect, right? Everybody here should know this. Well, guess what? It never doesn't say Privacy Act anymore, does it? No. In fact, it's not HIPPA anymore. It's HIPAA. You know, portability. And it's funny. I got this to show why I brought this up, but no, I talked to her and I said, look, they're coming out with apps to track people that had court. I was like, you don't want to be on some weird app. What if you get marked or labeled as such because you are carrying the antibodies or whatever? I was like, no, forget it, man. Don't do it. I was like, there's no need because you're fine now, right? She's like, I'm like, the whole family's healthy. So why do that? I wouldn't give them any information, you know, personally.
No,
no need to know.
Not.
Yeah. So
I don't understand who they're finding Who are they
Mhm.
finding in Florida who's willing to actually get their testing? And the
Yeah.
other thing about the mask is,
Yeah.
okay, so if it's saliva that or me coughing or talking or whatever,
Yes.
that's like spitting out these
Yes.
germs or whatever. Why the
Mhm.
hell are they sticking a swab way up into your brain inside of your nose? Why aren't they just
That's
swabbing your
another
feet?
thing I'm thinking.
Right
This is
there.
this is my conspiratorial mind. This is my conspiratorial mind working here. What the hell is on the swab that they're putting up your nose?
Yeah.
How do I know there's not something on that swab that, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my whole like distress with this whole system and this whole the whole thing they've been doing. All these testing centers are completely vacant. I don't give a shit. I haven't seen
Yep.
one that's full
Yep.
of people. Okay,
Nobody.
so whatever.
Nobody.
Okay, so and then I think who was it? True Set You Free she went to one and she took some pictures, and that was creepy as shit and very sketchy. You
Yeah.
go into some weird building in the back and they, you know, literally quarantine your car off, and then they come out and they swab your nose. And but there's nobody doing it. It's like she was the only one there.
No.
What the fuck?
See, we have a funny
Sorry,
story
it's
down
weird.
here. They set up. They
Yeah.
set up one in Tampa Bay, like at the stadium, and they had like 4 rows. They had all these people. They had all the testing out there. The reporters are out there, and they're like, nobody's in the parking lot. Nobody. It's just the
Nobody.
people that are working there and like the reporters, right? Just
Yeah.
waiting for reporters. Nobody's
Yeah, yeah.
there, like lined
Nobody's
up,
there.
tested. So the
Right.
next day, they had a story about how they had to shut down the center for a couple of days because they needed to get more PPE. I'm like, yeah, right. Like they opened up a center without having protective gear in the first place. That's such a bullshit. They have
No.
to find people to line up for the next time they report this. So the next
Right.
time they had like a few cars lined up. So it's probably
Uh-huh.
like they like lined up all the employees' cars. So it looked like they had someone there, but like nobody's I know has gotten tested.
Honestly,
like, nobody. And I'm like,
nobody.
so
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. It's the craziest. It's like it's the most unseen thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like literally we're afraid of our own shadow at this point because we've seen no it. If like, and I brought this point up. If this was so real, okay, why is the news faking photographs of victims that, you know, were not COVID victims? Why are you pulling photographs, old photographs, hoping that nobody would backtrack it, which they always do? Man, people are not as dumb as you think, and they get caught doing this, you know, and they're telling you, oh, this kid right here is COVID, feel bad for him. That poor kid was in a car wreck, you know, and like in 10 15 years ago, you know. I mean, like, holy shit, man. And then the dummies, remember the dummies that were in the
Oh
that
my
one?
God, yeah.
I mean, how many times you got get caught faking it? Well, my point is, it's so real. You should, in so many millions of victims. Well, you should have plenty to pull from. There shouldn't be any issues here. You should be able to just report the facts, right?
It's pretty. It's. I mean, if you look at other times that there's actually been supposedly, you know, I mean, I wasn't alive in whenever there's a Black Plague or whatever, but when you look at those times when there was like actual plague, like literally half the population would be dead after it. Like,
yeah.
Where's all the bodies? Like, if this is such a pandemic and this is such a plague and it's going to
well, they're burning them.
Like, there literally should be bodies stacked up everywhere, not some like fake something that they have to pull out of their asses. You know, I mean, should be piling up on the doorsteps, or you walk into somebody's home, or like, you know, there's like a whole entire apartment full of dead bodies because it's just affecting them and rampaging through everybody. Like, it's just not happening like that. I mean, older people who are passing away because they get pneumonia, I mean, kind of normal that happens when you get to like 80 years old. I mean, you can't live forever. I mean, something's going to kill you at some point. And it's amazing how many people who had, you know, oh, my mom's had cancer for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is we always say, oh, you know, the person got attacked by a shark, but you know what? It was Corona.
Well, they're getting caught doing that. They're getting caught false reporting. And I brought that up on the show before it was really starting to be, you know, being talked about, because that one guy told me, you know, privately, we were sitting in there. I could tell he was just a regular, you know, guy. He seemed cool. You know, I'm talking to him in the line, and I said, because they started putting all these plastic barriers up at the cash registers, and I was just like, oh, this is just stupid. And I looked at him and I said, isn't this, what do you think about all this? And he's just shaking his head, and you can tell he's just like, this is just dumb. And then that's when he told me about his grandmother struggling with cancer for 3 years, finally succumbing, to cancer. And then on the death certificate, Corona. He's like, man, that's weird. Why would they put Corona? I'm like, I said, because they're falsifying the records, man. They're trying to, they have to show some real bodies for this thing to even be remotely close to being legit, right? And that's what they're doing. They're just and it's kind of weird why they're doing. And some people pointed out in the chat room that they get funding, government, I guess, money for this for people who maybe that's a money situation too, right? So you gotta consider that. Let me show you on the screen. Like, remember I brought up the HIPAA thing. This is weird because I was again talking to this lady and I was trying to explain to her, why, things are changing and the Mandela effect, and of course, giving you this information out there and letting them test you is probably not a good thing. I don't think you need to give them any more information than they already got on you. So even if you had it, well, I would want them to know. Okay. I don't want to be on a list. You know what I'm saying? Because with this,
well, I would like to know if I've had it before. Like as far as like,
I don't care.
We probably all did. Because, like,
I have a theory that it's all it's
February,
in.
Probably a lot of people had
Sweetheart.
I'm not going to let my blood test go out. Are you kidding me?
Well, here's the thing. Well, I mean, we all give blood for various things, and they always take more than they need. God knows where it goes. God knows where.
Yeah.
What cloning? How many times you've been cloned? I mean, jeez, we don't know. I don't know. I'm talking to the same one. I bet they did. I bet they cloned your butt. Hey, no, just kidding. Let me show you. I'm just like, they cloned you. I'm always pushing the cloning on everybody else. Like, they got you, didn't they? No, here you go. Check out this. This is just a simple Google search, right? This is the first thing that came up. I shit you not. Of course, obviously, it's sponsors are required to do under HIPAA. But look what it says: the Health Insurance Portability and Privacy Act. Now, let's go over this together, shall we? H, health. Okay, we both agree on that. Here's I for insurance. Here's P for portability, okay, and privacy. Well, it has A and A. So apparently, either they're counting the and act, or they just forgot the other P. Now that's the Mandela effect, right? Yeah. That's a perfect example of it. It literally says Privacy Act right here, but the letters state something completely different. So I just thought that was funny. I was like, I know we all know about this one, but when I was trying to research this and show this person that privacy is not in it, they were like, what do you mean privacy is not in it? I'm like, it's not there anymore. Look it up yourself. And they're like, dude, they were like, what the hell? So that got them thinking. And so there you go. So that's one way to use like your knowledge of things that have changed and in the Mandela effect to sort of wake people up, And I didn't necessarily just go completely Mandela crazy. I just kind of, pointed out some things that are changing. And she's like, well, when did they do that? I'm like, it's always been that way. It's like since 1996 when they issued it, it's never been privacy, and they're just like blown away. So things like this where people are concerned about their health, this is another good example to bring up. I personally love avocados, so if you find those avocado lovers, you'll definitely get them with the Haas. But yeah, there it is. So I just wanted to share that, and yeah, I'll let you see. That's pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, people need to stop giving out I wouldn't want my blood going out to somewhere to test me for whatever. And I wouldn't want to be on that list, man. I'm just not with these weird apps that are going to be tracking people, because then it'll probably list you as a person who had it, as a potential person. And it doesn't matter if you had it or you do have it right now, it's going to list you. And so what's going to that would be so weird, like to have this app, like people's phones go off when you walk into like say a Starbucks, what do you think will happen? Right? That would be odd.
I don't like the running tally because it means this has been since March. I mean, most of these people have already, if they have had it or whatever, they're already better. They're out in the world. They're doing whatever. And, the running tally thing makes it seem like, oh, no, there's 50,000 people that have it right this minute. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, that's not how it works. So some people have gotten better, or if that's even true. Like I said, like quite a few of these tests have had to been thrown out because they were inaccurate testing, and I don't know. I mean, you're checking for a genetic marker. I mean, how does that even mean? Not really like looking for a virus. It's a genetic marker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, why go on with that?
Yeah, I have another theory that it's very possible that that it spread to everybody, and if this is an engineered thing on that level, okay, we all got it. And then by the grace of God, it didn't affect many people. It affected some people, but most of the people did not, it did not, it did not start the fire they wanted it to start, but they were in place and ready to, as you can see how quickly they, with all the new rules and regulations and how they handled this so quickly, like almost like they were kind of prepared for it. We have the Dean Koontz book. We have Mr. Fauci talking about the virus, it's coming and this and that. It's almost like they knew it was going to happen, right? Like they have some sort of looking glass or crystal ball. But nonetheless, I have a theory that maybe this was meant to get out, and it was, and maybe it was set to. It's like a timer. It was all set to just boom. The problem was is that it, those things are strange, and and certain people, when it gets through them, okay, and it's possible it mutated and it became a lot less deadly, and but they had to continue, but they already were planning on this, they're planning on this situation, and things falling apart. This shit's crumbling right in front of us, right in front of them. And I think people are waking up to it. Everyone I've spoken to without a mask understands that this is a bunch of bull crap, okay, to some degree. Now, whether we agree on what it is and why, and all the particulars, that's one thing, but a lot of people are really tired of what's happening right now. And you know what? It's waking people up to the idea that, hey, these regulations and stuff are not good for us.
Cities are actually burning.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot less to do with the fact that a black man was killed than a lot of people have been cooped up for 2 months. They didn't get like other countries, they did other things. We didn't get like a $2,000 UPI. We didn't get like a rent stoppage. We didn't get, it's like, here, go home, don't have a job. We're at like depression levels of unemployment. People are like, they're right on the verge anyway. So all it took was like a spark for people to just start like, okay, let's just tear it all down. People are on the verge of wanting this.
Well, I don't think we could go, okay.
Too much.
I've been thinking a lot about this, like I'm so torn about like my belief system and what I'm seeing, and is it, like you don't want to just like, what's the point of reporting on evil constantly? I like to look at, I try to see the glasses half empty sort of approach to things, right? So I'm seeing it like, okay, how do I want to say this? We are dealing with a situation where obviously this seems a little, like contrived, right? And it seems like they are definitely trying to, create a chaos. But by doing that, they're also at the same time knocking down a lot of businesses and stuff. I just heard that Boeing laid off like 12,000 people because the airline industry's tanking. Nobody's flying. Okay. Yeah. You got JC Penney's going under, Pier 1 Imports is going under, all these, business, all these places.
They're already gone, I think. They closed.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was the last remaining stores, but they're done. So like more and more is happening now. Like I said, there was the initial, part of this. And then of course there's this sort of like calm before the storm. And now we're about to see the direct results of all this, with all these layoffs and people not working and the slowdown of the economy and things like that. It's going to really affect a lot of people out there. It's going to be a little tough. And I wonder sometimes, like, my thought process is like, well, on one hand, yeah, I see the evil in it, right? I see it. But then on the other hand, I see like a point where, I don't know if we can keep this engine running and doing what it's doing, as far as it's, as far as the, the creation of the debt and everything else. It's almost like we had to almost do this to go into default. And I think it's a way of literally telling China to F off, and, because we owe a lot of money to them. And so if something happens on that situation, in that arena, well, then, I can see that possibly them, saying to China, well, we're going to wipe our hands with you. We're not going to pay you back anything. We're done. We're bankrupt anyway. We can't do it. Sorry. And you know what? You're partially to blame because you didn't report on this soon enough. All right. You see how this is going to work?
Well, there's
You
quite
see
a
how
few
they're going
countries that are going
Yeah.
after China right now.
Exactly. So since, I think they're about to do some maneuvering there. Okay. And, I can kind of see this sort of taking shape, and it's very possible that it's, gonna help alleviate the sort of the weight of the debt that has been over everybody, essentially, in a way, because since we're all Americans, we all kind of own it in some way, right? Even though it doesn't really affect you directly, but it's like it's always there. It's always part of it. It's always hanging over our heads. And so, this will bring a creation, and hopefully it doesn't destroy. Well, I say hopefully, but then there's two sides of that. I say, well, hopefully it doesn't destroy the dollar, but then again, what's on that money anyway? It's not like I'm, really partial to the Illuminati symbolism on that money. I mean, so what is it? The root of all evil, right? As they say. So you got to consider that anyway. It's just that's why I've been really careful about my thought process on this, because I see both sides of it, good and bad. And I just hope for the best, and like I've said about Trump, like, man, I look, I don't trust any politician at all. Okay.
No.
And I get why people don't trust the dude. I understand you 100%. However, I'm willing to extend the olive branch and say, you know what, maybe this guy, let's just see the whole picture for what it is, let this thing, maybe work its way out, because either, and I think I made this claim once before, like, I have a feeling either Trump is going to be somebody that we did not think was going to do, he's going to shock a lot of us. He may shock us and do some things that we're like, wow, this dude really knew his shit and took care of some really bad people, really bad things that were out there. Or he is in place to literally, just, totally screw us. Now, it could go either way, because what we don't know is what's happening, in the shadows. We don't know everything that's taking place. Like, it doesn't make sense to start SpaceX or Space Force. That makes no sense at all. Is he doing what was the real reason he started that? What's going on?
NASA. Just
To
get rid of
privatize
it.
NASA.
Yeah. It's a corporate takeover. Same thing I'm saying is going on right now.
Yeah, it could be.
Everyone's like conspiracy theorists deep, man. I'm telling you, it's simple. Corporate. Well, there's a China thing. There's other things about it, but it's a huge corporate grab. It's a huge way to kill the middle class businesses.
Okay. Well, maybe so. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it is. Nonetheless, maybe it was. But NASA wasn't really doing it. There's still SpaceX, which is a private situation, right? SpaceX is actually doing more than NASA right now, essentially. So, NASA really isn't really much in the, you don't hear about it. But then again, if it's like my friend says, what the real NASA is doing isn't what we see anyway. So they're into a bunch of other things. So maybe there's something more there, like I said, we don't know. It's just a lot of, stuff, and people say all this stuff, and they create videos that are, very compelling, and all this, but I've never been a big Q fan. Never been a big Q fan. I've always been like, oh yeah, okay. The Q map and all this stuff. It's a bunch of garbage to me. It's like, who sat down and made that map?
Kind of superficial. It's kind of superficial to me. I mean,
weird.
It's like a big map overhead, and if you paid any attention to any of this at the beginning, you've already seen these maps in your own head. I mean, you didn't really need to have them drawn out.
Well, I mean, it's real cute. Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah.
But
What's the center of the map? I can't remember.
Cool.
What's the main controlling factor of the map? I don't remember anymore. Do you remember the main thing? It's what? what is the overall controlling architecture of the world by this map? I can't remember. Anybody remember that one? I don't know. Was it the Vatican? Probably the Vatican. That's a good one. You could you can go Vatican, or you can go, they probably went with Israel. It's either Israel or the Vatican. It's
either
one of the two. One of those two. Yeah.
They kind of don't look at the queen anymore because she's lost a lot of power. So.
Oh, has she? Or is that what she
And
just
that's the
wants
thing,
you to
I think
believe?
it's going to go very corporate because
You don't know the
five-
queen,
You know,
man.
that CARE Act was $5 trillion, just giving it to like private companies to do
Wow.
whatever, and now you have a lot of other like real estate that's just losing. You know, a lot of places have lost their jobs or can't pay the real estate,
Mhm.
and a lot of, you know, you have larger corporations just got trillions of dollars for free coming in and swooping in. Now, who's going to own your Main Street? Who's going to, you know, I used to make a joke like, okay, we live in Nike Town and we go across, you know, like Verizon Bridge, but how untrue is that? You know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of becoming that.
Well, now you can't. Don't talk about the Queen Mother Lizard too much now on the show. You know, we got to watch it. You can get me banned.
She's on her way out.
Oh, you think, dude? That woman will listen. That woman will outlive you. You have no idea. There's no killing that lizard. That girl's gonna stay around forever. Dude, no, you know, she's first off, that woman hasn't aged in like 50 years. Holy shit, she looks the same age.
She's gotten younger.
Not much. Yeah, I know. Dude, I'm just telling you, man. Like, holy
She
cow,
has, man. She's gotten younger.
dude. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm like, how? Wait a minute, dude.
She died like 4 times now, and then they take her to the hospital. Oh no, we brought her back. She
incredible,
alive now.
Dude, no, that royal bloodline. They keep talking about how tainted it is, and now they need to fresh. You know, they got to put in the fresh blood from time to time with these marriages. You know, to regular folks. You know, because you know their lizard blood just ain't holding up. But with her, I mean, holy shit, it's amazing, just amazing.
Question for you.
Yeah, what's up? What you got?
I'm just kind of realizing. Well, part of it now. Coronavirus, COVID-19. Where does the D come from? And I thought I'd point out that prior to this virus thing, if someone walked up to me on the street and said COVID-19, I'd be like, "What are you, a Mason? Where were you on September 2001?" Right? COVID. Think about it. COVID-19. It's COVID. Right? What does COVID mean? Covert. That's what COVID would be assumed from our standard vocabulary. It's COVID. We're going COVID, boys.
Corporate virus.
No, right? But it is strange that the D's in there. Why the hell's the D in there? Who came up with that?
I think there's a reason for that, and I've heard it before. Why it's called what it is. I can't think of it right now. Yeah, because I'm still stuck on Corvid. To me, it was the Corvid-19. I remember that.
Well,
I remember the Corvid,
but
and we fucking had a Mandela effect and a shift, and now all of a sudden it became COVID.
I looked.
And
it is in some news articles, but not a lot of big ones that they write it as
right.
COVID. I don't know.
I found it in the papers. I found it in normal papers. I found it on the internet here and there, but people were calling it Corvid. Kind of weird. Oh, coronavirus identification year 19. Catherine Snows. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, ID. Identification year 19. So are we going to have COVID 20 and 21 and 22 until they get rid of it?
Is 19 the year? I thought it was the strand count.
Oh, Edward DeSoto says coronavirus DI disease. Okay.
Graffiti.
I guess I should look into this stuff. I
think it is the year because they made fun of President Trump for saying that it was the 19th strain, and that was wrong. It was from the year.
Well, see, that's what any normal-minded person would assume.
Yeah.
You label it at the year. The year doesn't mean anything to a virus. And we don't know that it wasn't around in 2018. There's no way they can know that. Like, it's just.
And you know what?
Sure.
You know what? When you get to test, it actually says SARS-CoV-2. So like it's weird because like on someone I know went to the hospital and they did all these tests or whatever, and it said they had a special place that says COVID-19, but really it's SARS coronavirus 2 is what they're testing for. So you actually have to look at that line to see if you have it, not COVID-19, which is just really blows my mind because where did we even get COVID-19 if it's really SARS-CoV-2? It's really confusing.
Well, just like Matt brought up from Quantum of Conscience, you know, he brought up the the fact that, if you do that, that's just weird. I mean, come on, man. What are the odds? It's odd. You take the Roman numerals. Once again, you take the Roman numerals with the C, and of course, there's no O in Roman numerals. The V, of course, and the D, and you add them all up and use the O, I think, in the I, correct? Or no, use the I as a Roman as well. But you add all those numbers up, and then you use the other ones for ASCII. Go down the ASCII table, find a number for that. Now add them all up, then you minus 19, and it comes out to 666. Like, you can't make this shit up. Like, how in the hell? And then funny, Matt brings out that video. And what did I say that whole week? I was like, I keep seeing 666 everywhere. I know I made this proclamation so many times. I was like, why am I seeing it every freaking where, man? It was like annoying how much I was seeing 666. So then Matt brings up that video that, oh, by the way, the Corvid, using the minus, taking the dash or hyphen and using it as a minus 19 comes up to 666. If you do this, that's crazy. Okay, that's a little too symbolic.
If you go by the ASCII key,
Like that last building pass
Yes.
was
Count.
666,
So you take,
right?
you go by the count, like the C,
you
right?
get the chart for the ASCII keys, and then you just go by which one it is and which number it is in the chart.
You use, here's the weird part. You use the C, the V, the I. Is it D in Roman numerals or no? I don't know. I don't think the D. There's no D in Roman numerals. So
no, there's no D. No,
there's no D. So you take the O and the D and you find the ASCII code for O and D. So you look at those. Those are the numbers. So you'll omit those as Roman numerals. Okay.
Are they actually using ASCII code, or are they using the spot it is?
I'm just telling you. Just look at COVID. Okay. You take the COVID part. If you take the C, the V, and the I, all right, and do those in Roman numerals, and then multiply, just multiply them, and then take the ASCII code, the O and the D, and do those in ASCII, and find the ASCII symbol and what the number is, okay, and you just add them all up, not multiply, but add them all up, and then you get a number. Now then the hyphen, then just do minus 19, and it just comes up to 666. It's the weirdest shit. I'm not kidding you. He did it. I mean, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Whoever came up with the idea of using an
D500. Okay, so the D is in Roman numerals. I'm okay. So D is
really news to me.
Yeah,
and I would have thought that the O would be 0. That's a kind of a number.
Oh, well, there's no 0 in Roman numerals, right? So yeah. All right. So Damien says D is 5. Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
500. Right. That's right. There's a 500 one. It's never used.
Okay.
D.
All right. Yeah. So wait. C
ASCII keys, right? ASCII key is the digital code for each key on your keyboard that's sent to your computer when you push a button. That's ASCII key. It's like all the letters. So each letter is a number value, but it's a number value. Like it's probably really huge in the thousands or hundreds of thousands or something if you were to figure out what it is, but it's ones and zeros. It's a binary code.
All right.
That's it. When you push the button, binary code.
I'm just going to do this myself.
But there's no way they're using that. It sounds like they're just using the ASCII key position in the list for that humans look at. Which is stupid. What does that mean?
Well, it just tells you we're just going by what the ASCII code, just going by that code. Numerical. Yeah. Well, every
numerical order in the list.
All the letters have a numerical ASCII code. That's all. That's what they're saying. All right. So it's a designated code. All right. Mm-hmm. That's how they
it's made up in probably the 1970s.
Yes, probably. And so let me go here real quick. All right. So what I'm learning here, I need to rehash my Roman numerals. So C is equal to 100, right? So we do that. All right. And we said D is, they said 500 is D? Really? Okay. Hold on a second. This chart only goes up to 100. So I didn't know there was a D. Are you sure about that? See, I wasn't quite sure about this. Wow. Okay. 500. 500 is D. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. So D is 500. All right. I'm going to do that. All right. See, we know the O doesn't exist. The I is a 1. We got that. It's easy enough. So I 1. All right. And then C, okay. And V is 5. So we know that. Equal to 5. All right. All right. Now I just need an ASCII code list for the C.
It's not something I've known of anyone to ever bring up or look at, unless you're a programmer. That's the odd thing about it. I'm like, an ASCII code list. Who's using that? That's weird, dude.
All right. So it's basically the hex, right? So no, we need letters or the letters, the designation of the letters. I'm looking here. I'm trying to do this right now on the fly. All right. Let's see here. Okay, letters and numerical values. Numerical values in ASCII. All right, let's try this out. All right. So, all right. So the number, okay. I'm having trouble finding it. Oh, here it is. O is a 79 in the character list. Okay.
They're saying they only used it for the O because there's no Roman numeral O. So then they used the
There's
other
no room.
code, and that one was, what did they say? I
They
just
used
had,
Roman numerals in the ASCII. I thought it was ASCII table, or wasn't it? Am I right about that?
I am so confused.
Thought it
I hate
was.
math and numbers.
Oh, it's fun, Fizzy. Let's see, just O. All right. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah, so yeah, it's like on your keys. You're right. So O, they're not using 0, are they? No. Oh, here it is. O is 79. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let me just.
It's a regular decimal.
Okay, is that
Listed
correct?
down its 79th position in the chart, right?
Okay, let's go with that.
And they actually use it as such. So I'm wrong. The position in the chart is actually the number they use in the programming. Of course, they don't use it in decimal format. They're using hexadecimal format, which is then transferred in binary setup. But no, it is the position in the chart is the number of the key.
All right.
It isn't too.
So I'm going to do this. I'm doing this.
Reason.
I want to use on my calculator quickly. So we have 500 plus 100. See if I'm going to do this right. I've been talking. Plus 79 plus 5 plus 1. I get a numerical value with ASCII code and Roman numerals of 685 minus 19. Oh shit! It's 666. That's crazy. Okay, let me just show you. I'll put it on screen is what I did. Okay, so I just did this in just a quick word program, right? Let me pull this up. You guys can take a look.
It's interesting how it balances out, let's say, by using something digitally related.
Yeah, so we got our total here. And, so the total was 685. And then what we're doing is we're saying you take the minus 19, like you instead of a hyphen 19, it'd be like minus 19. And would equal out to 666. Boom. Okay. That's what it looks like, peeps. That's crazy. It actually does work. That's crazy. Whoever figured that out, man, that's a good catch. Just weird, you know?
Good catch. Good dig. Well, how many charts did they go through? Holy cow.
I don't know. Well, you know what's weird is when I was looking at COVID, I often thought of Roman numerals when I look at the name, you know. I just never thought about calculating it. It just looks like Roman numerals.
You know, for anything conspiracy related. That's great. It worked.
Wow.
The thing is, to me, it doesn't surprise me that it works. It doesn't mean that it was planned. It's just the way reality is. Things are interlinked. There's
I think that
linkage with reality. That's just it. It doesn't mean anything per se. It happens because of meaning, but it isn't like you're going to get a message. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's of no surprise.
You know, I feel like this whole thing is we live under some sort of weird, sort of demonic, you know, system, and it would be par for the course to see this number. Okay,
it is the demonic
We've been
system
talking
that
about.
causes the synchronicities. That's just reality
Yeah.
as a whole.
Hmm.
And the fact that it shows up as a synchronistic thing, everything's interlinked numerically,
That's what I
visually,
mean.
emotionally.
Like I think it's some sort of like spirit. It's like a spiritual key, sort of whatever you want to call it, like a marker that just, it's just one other thing. It's part of the puzzle that we say, we should probably, not get too excited, or at least be, at least wonder about it.
It's an indicator, you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And you still have to be careful because people assume shit so much with indicators. Yeah. I assumed a lot with
I'm not trying to say Satan started it. All I'm saying is that, I'm just saying the idea of COVID, okay, could be of a demonic essence, in a sense of the control factor and the things they want to bring forth because of it. So we should be wary of it. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
So, Glow, how you doing over there?
Yeah.
You're still hanging with us, girl. So yeah, sorry, I had to go into that because I've been telling people that forever, and I'm like, I should just do this online, because, I've been messed to saying it, I just haven't done it. So, let me just share it with everybody. So anyway, there we go.
Cool.
There it is. So yeah, honey. Well, did you have anything else you want to share with us?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I know everybody. I hear bing, bing, bing. So I'm sure there's a line waiting to say happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. I guess we'll hear back from you real soon. So you stay safe out there, and have a great week. Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care. All right. That was Glowing to me. I did find. I posted a link in there, that the pilot one. What I'm going to do, we're going to take a break for a second. Let me go ahead and do this for 1 second. Let me lock the conference for a second. Locking.
Conference locked.
This is the dude when he received an award, and they played the transcript of what happened, what transpired on that flight. And I thought this was so good. So
said, if you could put wings on a wet cardboard.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back, and I'm going to just show this on screen for it's about maybe 5 minutes or so, but it just kind of tells you what happened. And I'll post a link to the actual video. A guy did a kind of reenactment, sort of with I guess one of those flight programs, so it's like a plane flying, and it's pretty cool. And it's just it's relaying the audio from the tower to the plane. And you can listen to that. But here's this guy speaking about what happened. And we can listen to this, and we'll take a small break. And I'll be back with you guys. Here you go. Let me go ahead and put this on screen. Let's see here. All right. Here we go. Here is this dude right here. All right. It's the story of Doug White
in Danbury, Connecticut, for help with specific information on that type aircraft. Kari relayed important details via cell phone regarding how to configure the King Air for landing. With a successful touchdown finally completed, the two handed the aircraft off to Carrie Meadows on ground control, who assisted Doug with shutting down the aircraft. With one unfortunate and unpreventable death came the incredible save of 4 other lives. So proud to thank the air traffic controllers who were working on that Easter Sunday. And in this stirring audio, you'll hear the dramatic situation unfold, and our controllers professionally handle the circumstances. This is good stuff.
Miami Center, King Air 559 Delta Whiskey.
Air 559 Delta Whiskey, Miami Center, here's you loud and clear. How me?
I got declared emergency. My pilot's unconscious. I need help up here. I need to get this thing on the ground. I'm flying to King Air. My pilot's deceased. I'm a single-engine pilot, low time. I need help. I need a King Air pilot to talk to.
All right, all aircraft standby. Air 559 Delta Whiskey. And are you at the cockpit now?
I am co-pilot 6. Get him out.
Air 9 Delta Whiskey, understand you are able to fly an aircraft?
Single engine. I need to get off this. I'm going through 11,000. I need to get level.
Air 9 Delta Whiskey, are you able to maintain 1-2000?
Do I turn off the altimeter or not? It's steady climbing, and it looks to me like my altitude of descent is on 10,000. I don't know why I keep going climbing. Figure out how to level off.
You think the autopilot is on?
I know it's on. The altitude said it's 10,000, but I'm going through 13 now. I should have leveled off at 10. So how do I stop that is what I want to know. Already busted 10,000. I'm steady climbing. I need to stop the climb. Stay with me, Miami. Let's go.
9 Delta Whiskey, I'm here. Don't worry. We're trying to find a solution to that. Stand by.
For me on the 50. Okay, number 5, Delta Whiskey. When you look at the center console there, you don't see anything with the you see the autopilot's unable to disengage.
I don't know. I know where the autopilot switch is down there. It's on engage right now. I can engage it if you disengage it. That's fine.
Number 5, Delta Whiskey. Disengage the autopilot. We're gonna have you hand fly the plane. Okay, hold the yoke lever. Disengage the autopilot.
I disengage it. I'm flying the airplane by hand. You find me as long as the widest runway you can use, man.
5 Delta Whiskey, Roger. I'm gonna try to keep you hold the plane level. We're doing pretty good. 17,000. You want to try to hold the plane now at 17,000. All right, number 5 Delta Whiskey. We're going to start a slow, shallow descent. Just easy down on the yoke. A slight descent. We're going to get you down to 11,000. Hold back slightly on the throttle, and just ease over the yoke gently. Whatever you're comfortable with, we'll just try to make a nice, shallow, 500 feet per minute descent.
I got a 1,000 feet per second.
Number 5 Delta Whiskey. That's fantastic.
9 Delta Whiskey, straight ahead on a heading of about 3 miles.
36, contact Monday, plus 133.77.
Hi, y'all good luck.
Okay, number 5 Delta Whiskey, you doing all right there, descending?
I will have a 9 Delta Whiskey, 16,000, 11,000 foot per minute descent, 9 Delta Whiskey.
Okay, number 9 Delta Whiskey, just so you know what we're doing here, we're going to get you down to 1,000. We're going to make you give you a turn to the west. We're going to hand you off to Fort Myers Approach, and they've got some controllers there that also have pilot experience, and they're going to talk you all the way in down to the landing there. Do you have any experience in a King Air?
Negative.
All right, number 5 Delta Whiskey, you're doing a real good job. Just keep you doing a very good holding your heading, a real nice descent there. Okay, number 5 Delta Whiskey, just a nice easy turn to the left, whatever you're comfortable, real shallow, real gentle on the controls. You're going to turn left, fly a heading of about a 270 heading, and continue that descent down to 11,000, whatever you're comfortable with. And number 5 Delta Whiskey, just to put your mind at ease, there's good weather at Fort Myers. There's no weather in the way. It's VFR. Okay, number 5 Delta Whiskey, just so you know the plan, we're going to bring you around to Fort Myers. They've got the longer runway, and we're going to get you the most available runway for your landing. You're going to do fine. You got any questions about what you're doing right now? You okay?
Yeah, we're great. 9 Delta Whiskey, thank you.
Okay, number 5 Delta Whiskey, real nice job in that turn there, and you're going to be talking to Fort Myers Approach here in just a minute. Like I said, they're going to take their time and talk to you and get you down safe. It will be 132.07.
Let's see if I can find it without screwing this up. Can I set this altitude set at 11,000 and turn the autopilot back on?
Number 5 Delta Whiskey, if you would like, if that makes you more comfortable, you can do that.
No, I can't do it. It messes up my heading.
Number 5 Delta Whiskey, Roger. It's probably there's a little bug for the heading that you can twist over to get established with the autopilot. But why don't you're doing such a good job here, hand flying. We keep you on that heading. You're doing well, and we'll level. It looks like you're just about level at 1,000 now, holding it well. And now, if you can, it's going to be 132.07. So what I'm going to do, number 5 Delta Whiskey, is contact Fort Myers Approach 132.07 by pushing 2. If you do not get them, just switch it again, and you'll be talking to me.
Fort Myers Center, King Air 559 Delta Whiskey.
King Air 559 Delta Whiskey, Fort Myers Approach. And are you in the descent right now, sir?
Yeah, what you want me to do is hold it or what?
Actually, if you can, we can just start a descent down to 5,000, and we're getting some help from another pilot that's familiar with the airplane. We'll get you some information. Can you descend the airplane?
I can, down to 5,000 on heading 270. This is a King Air 200.
And November 9er Delta Whiskey, are you using the autopilot or are you flying the airplane?
Me and the good Lord's hand flying this 900 whiskey.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I need to slow my descent down to 2,500 feet per minute here. I need to get my throttle set for this descent. I don't know where to set it at.
$9 Whiskey, the information I have is to pre-select the autopilot to 5,000, but don't turn it on yet. You can go to the center console on the instrument panel and pre-select 5,000 feet, but don't engage it yet. I'll get you information on how to do that.
I got a altitude set at 5,000. I know how to engage it, but I got to get rid of the heading bug that's hooked to this autopilot. I'm 150 knots. I need to keep installing this airplane. I'm just going through a little descent here.
Okay, sir, just advance the throttles, and your altitude's good, so I guess just pick up the speed with the throttles and try to hold 5,000 feet. And $9 Whiskey, the information I'm getting now is to leave the props and the power where it's at and just fly like you normally would a single engine for now. You got any alarms or warnings going on?
No, just heavy trim.
How many souls on board?
5.
Now they're telling me the trim control is on the yoke, and it's on the left-hand side of the yoke where the thumb would be, on the upper left-hand side of the yoke for trim.
Understand.
And 9 Delta Whiskey, just want to verify you do have the autopilot off.
I got the 2 black buttons on disengaged, which is down on the console.
Okay, sir, thank you. Hold the gear for just a moment.
Oh, I was going to. I'm just telling you, I know where the gear control is. 100 Delta Whiskey.
Okay, that's good. That's good information. Do you know where the flap control handle is?
I do. I don't know what setting to put them on.
Hey, we're getting that information right now. They're listening to you. And $9 Whiskey, it'll be runway 6. It's a 12,000-foot runway, so you're going to have plenty of runway to work with. And we got equipment standing by, and it's all yours. And if we're looking for 160 knots indicated, you can start the gear down. Right now, I'm showing your ground speed right at 160 knots.
I think I see a runway at 12 o'clock and about 7-8 miles, $9 Whiskey.
$9 Whiskey, that's correct. You're looking at the right runway. That's runway 6 at International, and you're about a 15-mile final now. So have you got the gear going down yet, sir?
Negative. I'm descending. I need to get down to 2,000 and get my speed down. $9 Whiskey.
$9 Whiskey, the last instruction I got, when you get to 150 knots, the flap control will say approach flaps on there. Just select that detent when you get to 150 knots.
2,800 $9 Whiskey, 165 indicated.
Sounds good. You're right on the money. You're lined up for the runway. So altitude, your discretion. You can proceed visually. Just let me know when you have the gear and the flaps down.
All right, gear going down. When I touch down, if I ever touch down, do I just kill the throttle or what?
That's correct. When you touch down, slowly kill the throttle.
Got dead pilots. It's
$9 Whiskey, you don't have to respond. More information, once you make it onto the ground, just center line with the rudder pedals, you kill the throttle and maximum braking.
I keep this pilot off the control.
You have plenty of runway, sir, so if you got to add a lot of power to make the threshold, that's fine. You got 12,000 feet of runway. It looks good from here. Good job.
We're tilted over, friend.
$9 Whiskey, the runway's all yours. You can turn left or right, whatever's easier for you. Power all the way back, and they're telling me max braking.
Brilliant, buddy. Thank you.
Nice work.
All right. And there you have it. And I hope you guys found that as compelling as I did. You can really hear the passion in the dude's voice. You know, he was really concerned about his family and really worried about flying that plane, even though he's had, thank God, think about this situation. If it hadn't been him, it could have been somebody else. Their family could have been at risk, or, countless others. The plane would have stalled. God knows where the plane would have landed. Could have landed on top of a house or somewhere like that during Easter weekend. Anyway, just crazy to think about. But yeah, it's pretty wild. Anyway, hope you guys like that story, y'all.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what any of those words mean. I would be terrified.
Oh, well, see, he had pilot experience, so thank God he knew how to kind of talk to the controllers and stuff, right?
Like an airplane.
Yeah, he's in an airplane.
No, I mean the movie. When they all ate the bad food and then they had that military guy on board.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe, and like I said, what's really crazy, like, this is an amazing story, right? Wouldn't you guys agree that this is crazy? Okay, so the first link I sent you was the other guy's video. I think there's 17 million views on that one. That's a pretty good view count, you know. I'd never heard of this, and just crazy. So I started looking at some other stuff that was going on. Apparently, there was an 80-year-old woman who her husband died flying a plane, and she flew it back down to the
What?
ground.
80.
Yeah, 80 years old.
Everyone
Yeah.
but me know how to fly a plane.
Move over, Sully. Yeah, yeah, no kidding, right? This guy's awesome. Well, what you find out later, in this, in the first video I sent you, what you'll see is Doug White actually went on to become a better pilot. Okay, got his license to fly more advanced aircraft, and then ended up flying like. He's flown all over doing like a lot of aid missions, relief work, and things like that to help out in need. So like became a life calling for the guy. Like this was a life changer from what he was doing before. So he actually became a pilot that flew in and dropped off supplies to people all over the world. Pretty amazing story, amazing guy, and I mean just a fantastic situation that happened here. And I'm shocked. I'd never heard of this, and I was like, wow. It's kind of like when I first woke up and I found out about what was that? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name now. The one where they those poor people in England were subjected to that drug that hurt all those babies. What was that called?
Oh, yeah, but it's coming around again. Remember I told you
No.
that strange disease popped up in New York City, and now it's in another city.
Talking about the one that causes deformities. What was the name of that drug?
Oh,
Damn it.
don't know.
Thalidomide. The thalidomide story. Holy shit. I was like, my mouth was wide open. So right after the Mandela effect, I remember I'm sitting there at my computer. Things are like, it's like that first part of the Mandela where you're like, you're really pondering shit. You know what I'm talking. Everybody's been through that, right? Thalidomide. Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching this show, and I just go to Netflix and I find this video. I'm watching this video, and to make things even fucking weirder, here's this story of history that I never in my life could believe happened. And I'm like, holy shit, you're telling me I've never heard of this? Like in all my history research, especially about, because it turned out it was like fucking former Nazis that had created this, like sold this drug to the British people, and in Europe, sold it all through Europe, and it was coming to America, and Kennedy stopped it. Holy shit. And it turns out that this drug would attack the nervous system of babies in the womb at the most perfect time, like a sniper, and it would mess up their systems, so that they were born with deformities, horrible, and they don't even know how many babies really died because a lot of midwives and things like that just aborted the children after they were born because they were so deformed. Well, we don't even have a record, but like from the record they do have, I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of people were affected worldwide by this. It's just awful. And it turns out that yes, these assholes rushed out this drug, and it was some fucking drug the Nazis fucking worked on.
What was it supposed to be for?
Well, it was supposed to be to prevent. It was supposed to give them to men in war. First of all, not women, but it was supposed to give to men in war. You take this drug, and it was supposed to help you survive a gas attack, like VX gas. It's supposed to block certain receptors.
Women, wasn't it?
Sickness. It was, well, that was a side effect of the drug, that it had a kind of some effects that were like I would say like MDMA, like some. Well, it made you feel good, and they were under a euphoric, yeah, and they were under the impression that, everything was on the mind, so they thought if they could make women just feel better in the morning, that they wouldn't have morning sickness.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, it was for morning sickness. That's why pregnant people would take it.
Yes, that's right, but the drug initially was for fucking gas attacks. but that they were just using the side effect of the drug. Like,
I didn't know it was for gas attack related or war related necessarily. I knew it was Nazi related, which of course, war indirectly. And I didn't know it was primarily, I didn't know it was a Big Britain thing. I kind of learned it as more of the American thing, although I think I did know it was also implemented in Britain and Canada a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was really big in Britain. I did learn about it a long time ago, I think. I assume it's the same thing. I don't remember the name, but I remember that birth deformities from the Nazi
I heard
pill thing
just a few years ago. Yeah. Well, I'd heard also too, Noble, that a few years ago that this drug was brought back out, even though it was banned, they brought it back out, and they were giving it to people in South America for something. I shit you not. There was something I can't remember.
It's psychotic to be taking stuff that screws with your nervous system.
Holy shit! Well, supposedly yes, and it was under. Of course, these women are under doctor's orders, not to get pregnant. Like when you take this drug, they tell them, it will cause severe birth defect. You can't. But here's the problem. People do things, and they don't know they're pregnant, and they're taking the drug, and guess what's being born again? Fucking thalidomide babies in South America. And when I heard that, I'm like, why on the fucking God's green earth are we doing this again? Of all the horrible drugs, I mean, when you saw those babies in those pictures,
the old Nazis run South America.
Dude, freaking crazy, man.
They're all dead now.
My God, the world's so messed, man. Oh, it's just awful. It's awful. So yeah, I can't remember what they were doing it again for, like what their excuse was. I can't remember what the symptoms were or what it was, but there was something they were saying that this is really helping with something, and I can't remember what it was. But they brought up thalidomide. I couldn't believe I was actually hearing those words. Thalidomide. Man, you shitting me? Wow. It's so creepy, man. It's just such a terrible story. And another thing about it, it's like so many people dying. It's so terrible. You would have thought that we would have been taught or heard about this story, and I know it didn't really affect us in America, but damn it, how blocked are we from the rest of the world, man, growing up? I mean,
America a lot. That's how I
learned
about it.
No, check your history. It did not affect America.
Canada, though.
No, it didn't.
Maybe Canada.
It was all in North America. It just was stopped. There was a stop brought to it before it got big.
It got banned before it got here, from what I understand.
That's not the way I had learned it.
Weird.
Learned is a real word, by the way.
Learnt. Okay,
yes.
Fine. We'll go with learn.
It's in the Noble Dictionary.
I may be mistaken, but I'm going to tell you right now. I believe what I heard was that it got blocked. It was almost about to be released in America. Maybe hold on. Either it was just slightly released, but no Americans, I think, were affected by it. I don't think anybody here was affected. And if there was, it was very, very minute. So you're saying a bunch of Americans were affected that you remember?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it should have been I would have guessed in the hundreds sort of thing, which is small compared to what it could have got to.
Hannah Walker says Hannah Walker says they suppressed it.
They did.
They could have, Hannah. Yeah. That's possible. Trippy. Huh. Interesting, man. Interesting. Well, let me open up the lines back up here. We'll hang out what you got.
Freaking drug companies, man. It's so unbelievable what we do, and we just I'll take that. Yeah, I'll try that drug. Oh, it's a test drug. I'll try it, and then people will be like scared to death of some street drug. Like, at least people been taking that for like decades, Holy cow! At least you know what's going to happen.
That was kind of crazy. I remember when my friends were going down to UT, and they were telling me like they were on some program and they're getting paid to take drugs, like pharmaceuticals. They were testing on the students. Like, yikes, man! It's like, look, man, I know you guys got to eat, but holy shit, get a job. Jeez, man. Like, I don't think I would use myself as be a guinea pig for some weird pharmaceutical operation. It's just
people don't usually consider the possibility of long-term neurological or nervous system issues, and both of those are one of the most likely and scariest. Clearly.
Well, and they're
I can attest to that. Nervous system issues are horrible.
Yeah, absolutely, Sandy. All right, look, guys, the phone lines are open, so we're gonna keep them open for just a little bit longer. If we get some calls, and great. If not, we'll just wrap it up, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow night because we got Mandela Monday on Sunday. And if you guys
Oh, we
don't notice,
do?
yeah, I think.
Oh, I forgot all
yeah.
about them. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're up. But I did put the show up twice. I went ahead and just put the shows up so people would know in advance, like when we were going to do it, and to know that we would start on time like we did tonight. And yeah, so I never start on time. I know. Don't worry about it. But look, we got Mandela Monday ready to pop at 9:30, I think, tomorrow night. So that's what I have it set for.
10:30 for me and Sandy.
It's 10:30 for you and Sandy. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sunday night? Not gonna work? All right.
Yeah.
It's fine for me.
I just forgot. I was, yeah. I'll make sure I send my stuff on then.
Okay, cool. And Sandy's got some good stuff, I'm sure. And yeah, I haven't had a chance to really research it too much because I'm back in school, and I just told you guys this week that I self-identify as a 20-something-year-old female. And I told the dude in my class to stop staring at my tits. I said, "Look, man, my eyes are up here. Okay, stop."
So that's what you meant.
Wait, we can change our age now too?
You gotta, Sandy, you'll learn.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I self-identify as a senior. Just saying.
A senior. Okay.
Well, discounts.
It's better than the moose that we had to deal with. All right, let's see. I do have.
That's my previous life.
We have Denver, Colorado on the line. Okay, Denver, you're up next. Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's Captain Kirk. How you doing, Dan? And guys, good to pop.
Hey,
doing tonight?
Hey, man, what's going on, dude?
Hey. Oh, I'm exhausted, Dan. I'm telling you what, man. This day is brutal. I'm going to talk about my personal. Yeah, it's brutal. Oh my gosh, I had handcuffs on me again. I've been, they
cuffed you again
in Sedona, Arizona. Yes, they handcuffed me, and I was held up for 30 minutes. They finally let me go. They said he's a good guy. It was a nightmare. So I told you I've been arrested and handcuffed a million times this damn earth. This new reality.
Wow.
But anyway, it was brutal.
Okay.
Yeah, sitting with handcuffs again for 30 minutes. Yeah, well, they were going to put me in jail, and they said let me go. It's a long story there, but I did nothing wrong. But some idiot called the police on me because I was hanging out at a trailhead, and then so they're going through my vehicle and stuff like that, and we're going to arrest me and this other crap. So anyway, I got out of that one. So then I had 2 flat tires on me. But anyway, it's been a nightmare. So I'm exhausted.
Okay.
So anyway, the things I was going to tell you, I listened a little bit earlier and I had to cut off. The thing is that I don't even want to focus. Because you guys talked about, what was it? This George guy, this individual who was, see, it's not about race. That's what everyone understand. They're trying to divide us again, make the blacks hate the whites, divide us by rich versus poor. Yeah, so this whole thing was a setup. We knew that there's a couple of other channels that we knew that they're going to try a Rodney King incident, something to do that to create more chaos and hate. And they did a good job of doing this. We knew it was coming. Seriously, we thought it'd be we weren't sure how the details would be. It'd be kind of like a Rodney King thing, right? Well, anyway, so it's part of the B system, the satanic system. All 4 of those police officers. Actually, even the kneeling, what he does a U-turn with his knee. It's called a U-turn. There's a guy that has a channel called Alpha and Omega that he can show you visually that this is already predictive programming. That we actually can see it visually from the sky, him doing a bend on that police officer, have a U-turn. And U-turn means turn you towards evil, turn you to the beast system or satanic, right? So every one of these officers were under control of the satanic system, like puppets, okay? Just like Trump and Obama. All of
I don't know if they were necessarily, they could be actors too. This whole thing could just be a staged thing.
Well, yeah, see, we don't know if he actually died there, because there's some stories that he may actually, he died of a heart attack later, but we're not even sure the details. That, it's, yeah, you're right. And actually, see, we know that they've been hiring people to go in and increase the rioting hate that even the Minnesota governor said, hey, that's 80% of people that showed up that are rioting aren't even from the state. So you got to realize they got a lot of money, the globalists do. So it only takes them a couple 100,000 or to really create more chaos and try to infiltrate martial law, just to hire a few people and send them in there. And there's also crisis victims. There are people that act like they're victims. We've seen this different YouTube channels of being videotaped of even with the virus, having crisis victims say, I have a virus and going in there when they don't have it.
The Boston situation seems a little sketch, so you gotta consider that too. Look, there's look, the crisis. Look, I've been saying it all along. They control the vertical and the horizontal. They control the crisis as well as the chaos. And so you have to remember that, these people are in complete control of the problem and the solution, or the reaction, let's just say.
Exactly.
So
it's the order out of chaos. It's the order out of chaos.
Yeah.
You're right.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's it's just funny, man. It's like, based on what I'm seeing, thanks to reality television and everything else, we're so used to we call it reality television when it's like fake most of the time. Yet we assume that's reality. And so when we see people faking stuff, we assume it's real now. I mean, like, they've programmed us very well, and so people, but now, there's certain things coming out about this event, and things are looking a little sketchy, and now all these riots are breaking out, and they're sort of getting that chaos started. And then, so that's why I'm out here speaking tonight, saying, look, people, before you get too worked up, look into this a little bit better, because things are matching up. And so, also, I would never advocate for this type of violence or anything like that. If it comes to your doorstep, you got to do what you got to do. But this is nuts, man. Yeah. This is crazy stuff going on right now. So, but people need to wake up and realize that, man, you're under control. You're in a controlled system, very controlled.
You're in control, yeah.
It's
and see, that was one of the steps too, is to increase the presence of the police forces and also the military, because now they got the people ready to accept martial law, even because I even heard Trump said that he's ready to support local police forces, the military. Okay, so that's where you got to be careful, because, and then it's always, they said, it's for the good of the people. Well, they're the ones that created the chaos to begin with, so you know what I mean. So you create the chaos and you're trying to find the order to it. But so anyway, so that's what we do know is, like I said, that it's part of the more and also that more distractions. They pulled away from the virus. Now they got to this, and we actually think that they're going to do another wave of the virus around September. That thing is, you guys are talking earlier about how getting the virus. Now, I talked to, and this is true, I've talked to some good SAE agents. Now, I know you guys thinking 99% of them are rotten. There are a few good teachers, good principals, good, this and that. There are good people out there. And the CIA agents told me that the swab test is actually, not all of it, but some of it's been tainted with the virus. So you stick that thing in your nose for the test. It's going to actually.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, I don't trust. I have a hey, that they're, look, the vaccination stuff and the fact that they protect themselves by law, saying that, hey, you can't come after us if we give you something shitty that might affect you in your life. I have a big problem with this, so I'm like, you're not really, we're not able to hold you to any kind of accountability. Thus, I don't really trust you. Okay. And then I don't want you sticking something up my nose. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah. What are you putting into my, up in my, I don't know. And so I'm just saying, it's just weird. And, I don't want any part of it. And besides, I'd rather I'm thinking there's got to be another way to test you other than jamming something up your nose.
Well, but the thing is, you got to realize those tests, even whether they're positive, are all fake. That, we've had physicians validate that those tests, you'll mark, even if you had the flu shot, you actually mark, it doesn't matter that flu shot before this, that you'll mark positive for that virus.
I think of the scene
positive for that virus.
I think of the scene.
No test, you understand?
Yeah, I think the best scene. Listen, the best scene I ever saw in the Walking Dead, wherever you guys remember, was when they went to the CDC and that dude's there, and he's like, he tells them, he's like, we all have the zombie virus, like it's all in us. So basically, when you die, it comes out on you turn into a zombie. But the thing is, what if they infected all of us? What if we technically all have it? It just didn't manifest.
Oh, that's
It didn't.
interesting thought.
That's one of my theories. Like, did they?
Yeah.
Was that what all that shit was in the sky for years and years and chemtrail and stuff? Were they spreading shit around trying to infect us?
Well,
is there is that a possibility? Well, maybe it could already be inside of us, and it never got activated.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is the chemtrails, we also think, not to put that up, is that we think that they're dumping aluminum stuff like that too. And they said there might have been microchip biomarkers in your breathing into, but I don't know about that. But they do know that it was part of the 5G technology and stuff like that. That they were trying to put those micro metals in your system, right? It's horrifying. Yeah, it's just.
See, I don't really buy the barium aluminum. I don't buy the barium aluminum story, dude. I just don't buy that story.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
I'll tell you why I don't buy it.
What's that?
Well, because the testing on that was never really, in my opinion, the weird part about that testing was always reported so some guy had a glass of water on his car overnight, and then he took it to a lab and tested for barium. How do you know he didn't spike the water? How do you know?
Well,
we don't know. So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, Well, okay, this is true though. And then I know with Rex with Leak Project, I don't watch his stuff because I was living in near Boulder, Colorado, and there's a CU University of Colorado student that I was talking to, and he actually validated. He went up in the foothills there when they're dumping those chemtrails. That he tried to light a snowball, and it melted like plastic. Now that was 2 years ago. I'm not kidding you. And he said, but I couldn't get it. It just kind of. It had a little bit of water and just kind of went into like a plastic burn. It's kind of burnt. So there's some kind of garbage they had in it, but we don't know exactly what it was. And so he was writing his thesis on it, his master's thesis, at the University of Colorado. And then with all the distractions, I didn't get back to him to see what, and he wasn't doing deep research. He says, they're dumping some kind of crap in there, but right in the foothills. Because they were dumping all over Colorado. So, we don't know what.
I saw saw something fall, I got pictures and I actually had a sample of it one time, but there was some weird webby shit that came out of the sky.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
serious?
Wow.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, dude. It was like weird. It think of it like a spider web, but it had like a weird, if you moved it different directions, you could see a rainbow effect in it. It was really weird shit. And it was very
that rainbow
stringy
stuff. Yeah, it almost like gasoline. I've seen that rainbow effect in the clouds, these fake clouds. They have like a weird, when you see gasoline on top of water. Those clouds have that same kind of look.
Kind of like that. Sure. I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, it's been a strange occurrence. Yeah.
Those black clouds.
Oddly enough.
That's the thing is that.
Yeah, I've never seen that before until after around 2012. And oddly enough, the first time I saw one of those weird rainbow clouds was the day. It was actually December 21st, 2012. I took a picture of the sky on that day.
You saw that far back? I have a picture. 2016, but you saw that far back, really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was 2012. It was December 21st. I remember I was going to work, and I remember thinking, I don't know. I took a picture of the clouds, and there was this weird little rainbow sort of pattern. We see that weird effect, right? And that was weird. That was kind of strange, but it's odd. We got a lot of strange clouds. We're going to cover more of that on tomorrow night's show. So.
Well, that'd be interesting because I thought it was part of the Mandela effect that we started increasing on 2016. But there are reports that they've been modifying and screwing around with the weather with crap since the 70s that they just haven't covered it. And they said that there's even rumors that may cause Alzheimer's disease in the elderly and stuff, dumping that crap in there. But I don't know about that. But there are stuff that I think they said it was Wichita, Kansas was actually the central weather controlling back then of out of Wichita, Kansas. They had some laboratories that they were messing out the weather. Now,
some people think Alzheimer's is really a form of mad cow disease. Some people think that.
Well, it could be. We don't know what it is, right? I mean, we know that.
I haven't really researched it, so I'm not sure. I'm just going by what from what I heard. Yeah. So.
Well, the thing is, there's even thought that cancer itself is actually created by a virus or bacteria, and there's a guy actually had a cure for cancer. You can see it in black and white. Now, I don't think it's a Mandela effect. That he back in the 50s, shooting it with frequencies that it'd isolate that cancer cell and make it explode because Cancers have a certain type of structure that through vibration.
I've heard all different things
That's what
about
I'm talking
cancer.
about.
I heard that cancer doesn't
But,
grow in
yeah.
your body in an acidic environment. Thus, you make yourself less
Yeah.
acidic. Typically that's why cancer pops
Yeah.
up. There's all kinds of natural ways to fight cancer. I've always heard
Exactly.
growing up that, you're going to get cancer 20, 30 times in your life. Your body will just fight it off. You're strong enough that
Well,
your
it's all
body takes care of
oncogenes.
it.
Yes, oncogenes it'll fight them off itself. Your body's programmed to deactivate. It's called oncogenes.
It's the fact they're
cancer.
making us
But see,
weaker
the
with
thing
the
is,
food and then what they're putting in everything.
yeah,
That's,
they weak you down.
causing issues. Yeah.
But
And I think that's what's happening. Your body succumbs to it. I believe that women who are now they're saying, well, there's an uptick in breast cancer. Well, I say I theorize that the testing has gotten so, what I want to say, it's more advanced to the point where it detects any type of anything inside these women. They have to go in and do biopsies and whatever, and they're finding it better, right, when it's smaller. And I theorize that they're basically, it's not so much that women are necessarily getting cancer, it's just that they're finding it more and more. But my point is like, it's sort of like the placebo effect in a way. So like if I'm going to say this, and I know this might sound fucking crazy, and I get,
that's true.
You're welcome to my show. But I say this stuff in the sense of like, if you hadn't been diagnosed with it and you didn't know you had it, would your body naturally just fought it off? Is it don't lumps just develop sometimes? Yes, they do, and they go away. My friend's wife had lumps, and she was freaking out, and it turns out she was drinking too much caffeine, things like that. I mean,
really?
yes. And so the point is what I'm trying to say is like, sometimes I think by just telling people you have it, and putting that thought pattern in there, you change the way your body is reacting to everything. You don't realize how powerful the mind is. So you tell somebody, oh, you've got it, So now you're in fucking survival mode. And so I think that changes the whole chemistry of your body. And I think that sometimes actually we might be doing ourselves an injustice. I think that, our bodies are strong enough to fight off a lot of things. Right. That's all.
Well, there's a lady who, what you said, that she actually ended up giving herself cancer. She thought she gave herself, like she said, 3 or 4 types of diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And she thinks that by her mental focus on it, because she said she heard one time on TV something about, I can't remember what the cancer was, something like I can't remember, pancreatic or something. So she said, oh my God, she saw it's like the Dr. Phil or whatever, and she says, I got that, and sure enough, she ends up getting it, and so you got to remember too, there was a Chinese or I can't remember, the Asian guy who recently put water, you remember one seeds in 2 jars, the same seeds and same water in jars, and one he said, I love you with intent every day.
Yeah.
The seeds grew in that jar. And the other one, it was like rotten, right? So we do.
My mom.
Now you're 90% water.
My mom did this thing.
Your thoughts can impact your body. So,
my mom did this thing when I was a kid. It was so weird. Like, so she told me to talk to the plant every day. So I had to go. And my mom did this to me. Like, my mom.
Your mom just okay?
My mom was such a hippie. Anyway, my mom made me talk to this freaking plant every day when I was a kid to show me something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I was like, all right, whatever, So she's like, now initially she was laughing. She was like, talk nice to the plant. I'm like, and of course, I'm young. I don't know what she's doing to me. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, talk, because I'm acting like a kid. So I'm like, I don't want to talk to the plant. She's like, talk to the plant, and you tell it you love it. So every day. For like fucking a few months, I had to talk to this damn plant when I got home from school or whatever. So I'd go talk to the damn plant.
Oh my God! Dude,
just stop, dude. It was horrible. So I'd go talk to this plant, blah blah blah, and then she showed me. So she had a plant, okay, in one corner of the room with and both plants where nothing was in direct sunlight. They were both like one in each corner, okay, and there was 2 windows, and so they both had equal amounts. If they got any sunlight, it was whatever. The point is the one I talked to. She said, look how beautiful it's grown. And look at the other plant, the one you didn't talk to. And I was like, dude, that blew me away, bro. That was the craziest shit like
true.
that. Like
Yeah.
that's the stuff my mom used to teach me. Like that kind of weird. Like that's
Wow,
wild,
your
dude.
are into that.
Yeah, she was. She was always, dude. My mom is
Wow, that's amazing.
way ahead of her time
Well,
when it came
it's
to
real,
stuff.
Dan,
It's
because
wild.
seriously, in your body, you're like, was it? I can't remember, 80% water or something, and we influence water. Remember, even Native Americans said everything's alive, and so we got to, so you got to remember that we influence ourselves with that intent and the love and things like that. So I mean, I'm 100%. I mean, it's real. I mean, it's real.
Oh, I
And
believe
people
it.
even, you remember that?
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
you remember the snowflakes? He even froze snowflakes. You remember he'd freeze them really quick after screaming at one and telling he hates it and this.
Yeah.
And it had a
Dr.
terrible
Yamato.
design.
Yeah.
And he'd take that
Yamato?
snowflake. It has beautiful
Emoto?
pattern.
Yeah.
And people repeated his test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember his name though. You remember his
Emoto.
It doesn't matter.
Emoto.
Oh, Emoto, is that what it was? Emoto.
Emoto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Dr.
amazing.
Emoto. Yeah.
Yeah,
That it's
replicate
pretty wild.
his stuff.
I heard they have, and I heard that they showed the similar results, and then other people try to poo-poo his findings. But the fact that
Well, it's still
this
poo-poo
stuff,
Mandela effect too. Sorry, and you know what I mean.
Well,
So you know what I mean.
I believe we have obviously connections with nature and things like that, and we can effectively affect changes in it, and through our and I believe that force is there. I do. Absolutely. It's
I think
it's
it
an
is.
amazing
Yeah.
thing when you see it. Like I said, when I was a kid, to learn by talking to this plant and seeing the other one and seeing the differences, and then both watered, both taken care of. Just one got more attention, and it grew twice the size of the other plant. It's like crazy to see the difference.
That's amazing.
Just it's a good life lesson to learn. About things, and the connection we have with that kind of stuff, and it's really cool. It's just like I always mention my dogs and stuff, and the connection I have with them, and how lately in the last 4 years it appears like animals are more receptive to us than ever before. It's like
They have
the way
changed. But in the Mandela effect, they become more. Yeah, what you said. I mean, interrupt you. That some people talk about the Mandela effect, that dogs almost become more human-like and with more caring and compassion than the humans, not to insult them. That I've seen dogs smiling. Like you never used to see that. That he was really smiling, really engaging with people, and we didn't see that before. And that's what you said. It's amazing that these animals have become more loving, responsive to us. But we've kind of gone the other way, which is kind of sad, right? I used to walk around telling people, I said, man, I wish more people like dogs, unconditional love, and all these things. I said, I said I'd rather live with the animals, the mountains in Colorado, than deal with these people because they've gotten so darn rotten. You know what I mean? I said I go live with them because I can't take it anymore. Because these people have gotten so, and I'm not trying to judge them, but you hate their ways, not them. But I mean, it's serious. So I mean, up to that, and you've seen it so firsthand, even with so you know what I mean. And there's probably other people who say, yeah, my dogs have changed and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'd like to say, I mean, the animals are a trip, and there's a lot of strange things going on. Like right now, as I'm broadcasting, we took a break a second ago, and I went to the back of the house, and I could hear in the trees right now the birds singing and chirping right now at this time of night. I think that is so bizarre. I don't ever remember. It's like sort of like you would hear birds like maybe in the morning or in the afternoon or something like that, but very loud, very singy birds, right now, and it's just strange. It's almost like
it's definitely strange.
Oh, it is weird. I just noticed that noticed that happening in the last few years, and just a lot of odd things about our world today that I just didn't key on before. I think I would have, because I've always been pretty observant, right? Observant kind of guy, and it's just just something new to me. So so I don't know, man. Animals are a trip.
Well, that's how I used to listen to one. Actually, it was weird. I worked at Walmart for a while, and unloading the cap too, unloading some things, and that's why I used to listen to Fizzy Pop. She's always talking about these new species coming along, and she did a great job. I used to laugh because she's always talking about these birds and things, these new species.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really interesting, not just about these species, the behavior is that In Colorado, deer and elk would always they would lay down at night and they don't, and they've reversed that behavior where now they stay awake at night and sleep during the day, and that's way upside down. I'm not kidding you. I don't know if there's anybody else that's experts in
Wow,
deer
sounds
and
like
elk
me.
and stuff, but I can say for a fact growing up in Colorado what's that? Well, growing up in Colorado, that never happened. They'd always be awake during the day and sleep at night. So I was talking to somebody, I said, why? I said, this doesn't make sense to me. And they said, well, they have to be more alert for the nocturnal animals that are trying to attack them, like the bears and the coyotes. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact, for all those years ago in Colorado, that is upside down, that they would actually sleep at night and be awake during the day. Now it's completely, you see them sleeping all day during the day. Now, sometimes they'll still be awake, but I mean, it's way upside down. And I even checked in like Michigan and others, and they said the same thing, that the deer and stuff like that are staying awake at night, solid at night. Now, sometimes they'd run around at 8 o'clock at night and jump in front of your car. And then, you had a lot of hittings by that. But yeah, it's a different behavior. I'm pretty sure on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been,
but I don't know.
Yeah, when I went to catch them, there was a point where Scott and I were driving down a dark, really, we're down the side of the damn mountain, and we're like, this was at the Mandela conference last year in Ketchum, Idaho, and me and Scott were driving, and like, dude, there were like elk just standing there, like it was crazy. Like we come around a corner, and this massive elk is just standing, and they're just looking at us, just staring at us. They weren't in the road, but it was like they could have. I mean, it was freaky to see such a big animal. Oh, they were massive, dude. I mean,
yeah, right.
We were watching our speed. I'm just gonna tell you, but I mean, we were both like, holy cow. And it's so weird because they would just stare at you like, what are you doing here this late at night, boy? You're in the wrong neighborhood, like we were breaking up the Elk Lodge party or something. It's like, yo, man, sorry, man. I didn't realize you guys were in the Illuminati. We'll just get out of your way.
The part of Illuminati, right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah. There's some things I do need to communicate to you that I've been finding out recently, and I don't want to turn this into anything because we always want to stay positive and stuff. I don't want to give it to as much focus because we kind of feed that stuff. But the thing is that I do have to tell you, I don't know if you heard that there's a new king of England's going to be announced, and that he already Trump, Puke and Putin is what I call him. I shouldn't insult him. Be careful politics. I don't want your channel to get nicked. But Trump, Putin, a bunch of world leaders have validated that he is the line of Christ. I'm not kidding you, Jesus, and a Christian.
What? Who? Trump?
Yeah, we just heard about this. No, a new king. That there's a guy and I actually had a brother called Henry Velasquez that called me yesterday. He said, man, do you hear about this? No, it's not. There's a guy who they're going to say is the king. I can't remember his name because I'm sorry, I should have known this, but it's late and I forgot. But anyway, he is going to be announced as a king, as the true bloodline, even coming back from lineage to Jesus Christ and Christianity. And the reason it's important is because he's kind of a marker. The whole system is the Antichrist system or beast system or evil system, right? But he is being marked as possibly the one that, and people said that he's going to save the world. Now,
where are you getting this information, man?
In England.
Where are you getting this information? Where are you getting the
You
information?
can actually look this up. There's actually documents coming out of England that they haven't announced it yet. But the documents are that Trump has validated this. Russia has. Now, here's the concern. If that is true, then he's control of Canada, Australia, England, Britain, parts of North America. And so they said, and people think he's going to save the world. Okay. Now, the thing is, there's another piece to this. They said that the Queen of England is going to, she's going to get denounced as being the fake lineage because they said that, I can't remember, Antoinette. God, what was her name? What's her name? Antoinette. She actually was not killed. That they actually made it up, and that her lineage, he goes to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, that bloodline from Christ, is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the writer, that he is of that bloodline, and that she is not. So you understand? So that's what they think. That they think that's one of their moves So I don't know how they'd have pulled
I
out.
don't know
Because
how.
Queen
I don't know who's
you
going to
know,
buy
got
that at
Queen
all.
have loyalty.
Yeah, good luck
Yeah,
selling
but
that
see,
to
that's what I don't
everybody.
know. If this,
Good luck selling
yeah,
that
this
to the
could be
Christians.
misinformation, but that
That ain't happening. Yeah, that ain't gonna. Yeah, they
yeah,
can
but
try.
yeah, because how would you announce the Queen and then also
gonna
bring
do?
this guy in? I don't know.
Announce some dude. I don't care who he is. You know, like what are you gonna do? Everybody's gonna bow to
Yeah.
this dude. Like really? Everybody's gonna think this dude's the Antichrist. No one's gonna believe he's
no,
a savior.
no, there's other people that said that he's going to save the world. They said, oh, he's a true lineage. There's people that said he's the guy, not the Antichrist. And he's the one that. Now I'm talking to Henry Velasquez. He said that
sounds like
tried to make it look like he does wonders using technology. That he's the Pope. The Pope has backed him. I'm not kidding you. The Pope of the Catholic Church.
Of course,
said, yes, he's true lineage.
Of course, you can't leave those guys out.
Because
I mean,
said,
everything
why hasn't been announced yet. They said, well, what's that? Sorry, Dan.
I was going to say, of course, the Catholics are involved. I mean, come on,
Well,
man. You
yeah,
couldn't have a
but
good
the Pope said he
conspiracy without a Catholic conspiracy. Come on, man. The
Oh,
Vatican.
that's right. You always got to have the Catholic.
Come on, you got to have the Vatican, bro. You know, sometimes you have to pick
I
the
know,
festering scab that is the Vatican.
Yeah. Well,
To
that's
use
the
a
thing is,
line
that's the thing
from
we got to go back.
Conspiracy Theory, the movie. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, I'm just using
No,
a
Jeff
line
just
from.
rooted me.
Yeah, no, I'm just using just lines, man. I'm just
Well,
talking here. Sorry, Fizzy.
Well, yeah. The thing now, here's the thing: you got to be careful because, like I told you, we talked about this last time that Jesus was trying to tell us that you're kind of living in a simulation. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but that you are. You know, remember we talked about be in this world, but not of this world. And he kept. That's what he was trying to say. He said, you know, you guys, you're dealing with this manipulation, this evil system. It's a simulation, and they're trying to control everything. But he said that you're not of this world. That you're a true spirit soul. You'll live forever. Get out of here. So that's what. But see, the problem we have is that's fine. But man, this whole thing is unfolding just like the Christian scripture is laying out. I mean, you got the beast system. You got Satan. You got Jesus on one side and the Lord. And you got the Christians fighting that direction. And, you know, I mean, it is, so it's kind of like we're living by the script. And, you know, God's the producer, the author of this whole thing. And also, I mean, it gets so insane that, that's what I was going to tell you. Watch Time Bandits. Remember that old movie back in the 80s? Mm-hmm. Time Bandits describes exactly what we're going through. It foretells us because it talks about Time Bandits. The background of it is that time is being manipulated, and that a guy like Satan, it's actually comical in certain parts of it, that there's this evil guy he's manipulating the kid and the Time Bandits, changing history and trying to modify the reality to confuse them. And so he's like messing around and he's trying to take control because he doesn't want the true God to be the supreme being, have, you know, them to find the truth of all this stuff and get through the system. So you got the satanic character messing around with all time and reality, like we're seeing with the Mandela effect. And then, you know, and then we have the supreme being. I wouldn't be surprised. Says, I was just testing you guys. It's all fake. And he said, Satan is, what's that? Do you remember the show? Is amazing.
Yeah, I did. I remember Time Bandits. I was young. I was a kid.
So it's kind of predicting.
I was more partial to Buckaroo Banzai, though. Did anybody see that movie?
Buckaroo Banzai.
I love some Oh man, that was great, dude. Buckaroo Banzai. That was, dude. Who doesn't remember? That's a winner right there. That's a winner chicken dinner. We should do a movie night.
That's a winner.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, Buckaroo Banzai.
You have to do a small segment on that, something one of your broadcasts. Man, you should.
I'm just saying, I haven't watched it in a long time. I think Buckaroo Banzai might hold a key to the future. Who knows? I mean, there might be a lot of stuff in there.
Well, there might definitely. There's all these little pieces. Like, you know, we got all these pieces on the evil side, like iPad Go 2 and all these little pieces. I know that there's pieces that's been laid around for us, like Time Bandits and. You know, like, I mean, like even there's a Twilight Zone episode called The Parallel Universe. The guy talks about, he's like, they said, what if, he goes, you see that one as a Twilight Zone, it's called The Parallel Universe. But it don't actually, and he talks about how everybody's different, his friends, his family. And he said, you know, and they're trying to convince him that he's crazy. They said, you should see a psychiatrist, like the Mandela effect people. So you got to realize that there are pieces laying around. Well, like even Star Trek, you know, that it's funny that Voyager, that when they were bounced by Q, they moved 88 million light years, which is the same exact distance to the claiming that we got moved from the Sagittarius belt to Orion belt, across the galaxy.
88.
The exact
88 is
same.
a code.
I think it's 88 million or something, whatever it was. Light years, whatever it was.
Yes, Fizzy.
Sandy's backstage. She got kicked out.
Oh, okay. All right, hang on. Let me grab Sandy. Okay, cool.
There she is.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
But,
there's
there are pieces out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
totally, man.
Now-
Yeah. The 88 number and all that stuff is all. That's a deeper meaning, deeper code. That's their number.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the number of the watchers, the fallen,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
whatever. There's deeper stuff, man.
No,
I can get
you know-
into. I just haven't gotten into it typically, but those codes, those are stuff that I learned a long time ago. There's a lot of things written out. Like, here's one for you. You guys want a cool one? Check this out. So, you know when they say a new world order, you guys remember George Bush, a new world order. I see it, on the horizon. I'm George W. Bush. Yeah. So creepy old man Bush talking about the new world order. Everybody, oh man, he's talking about a new world order, a new world. It's not a new world order. Yeah, 1,000 points of light. That one too. But hey, listen,
it's weird.
dude. You know what he was saying though? It wasn't saying a new world order.
No, what was it?
You have to listen to the double speak. The truth is it's Anu world order. Anu. Look up who Anu is.
Anu? Are you serious? God Anu?
The god Anu. He wants Anu
Here's
world
the thing
order.
is too.
There you go.
Now that I did not know because even Jesus means Zeus. Jesus, Jupiter, Zeus. It's a worshiping the Jupiter.
Well,
god.
there's always this
Zeus.
thing with Jupiter. Well,
So it's
and
weird.
that
Wow.
again, a lot of that some of that stuff
Jesus.
relates back to the planets. You have Jupiter ascending, or it was
Saturn's
Jupiter
supposed to
rising.
Satan.
You have Jupiter ascending, and you also have the Saturn worship. People worship Saturn, Satan.
That's supposed to Satan.
I've heard of that stuff before.
Yeah.
I've heard different people, making these claims. The thing is, though, all I can tell you from my experiences with this, whenever the darkness has come, okay, the darkness, and I mean, when that shit gets into my life, and I turn to Jesus, I've never been led down the wrong path. So what Jesus means in relation to the stars and all this stuff like that, hey man, I don't really worry about that. I can just tell you that when calling upon the name of Jesus, okay, miracles have happened in my life. That's all I can tell you for
That's
sure.
cool to hear.
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I go with. All right. So that's what I tell people.
Yeah, I know what you're
listen,
saying, Dan, but here's the thing is
I don't
there
call
is
in the name of
scriptures in the
Saturn. I
Bible.
don't. Yeah. So yeah. What's that?
Yeah, there is scripture that was removed from the Bible because man writ part of the Bible and Constantine changed it. That he is not the now. That's why be careful because he's not the only gate to heaven. Okay, because there was a scripture that said where he kept saying love one another. Even John ran around saying this that God honors. If you love one another, help one another. So it doesn't mean you could be like satanic or evil. That God, because you have Buddhists are loving people, right? And there's actually some Buddhist monks who've actually done some horrifying things to themselves. I don't want to repeat on this, but in honor of God. So you got to realize that God has sent several messengers through. You know what I mean? And but picking which ones are right and wrong is so. And I don't want to infiltrate you on your personal beliefs because everybody I think has a personal relationship with God. You have a unique one. So I think there's multiple ways you love one another, help one another, and those are the key. That even Jesus said, "Don't worship me." He said that many times. When Christians get worshiping Him, He said, "Do not worship me." Right? He said, "Don't do that." Now we've also had some negative things even in the Bible, like Abraham who takes up and wants to sacrifice his son, which that God, see, even Jesus said. Your God of this to the Jews, he said, your God is evil. You're worshiping the wrong God, right? He even told them that. He said, you're worshiping the God of evil, the wrong God. So Satan has infiltrated even Christianity to pit them against each other, Catholics against, well, that's not just Catholics, say the Baptists against the Protestants or whatever. And also that
well, that's why they say
to divide away from the true God, right?
At the end times, the church will become will become corrupted. We know this.
Will
And
be,
it's
yeah,
in,
corrupted,
it
right?
will
Now,
become corrupted,
now
and that is why it's important for every person to seek God in their heart and to seek God for
yeah,
themselves. You don't need
yeah,
the people
exactly.
in you know, Jesus says, you know, don't trust those in
Yeah.
long robes, you know, don't
Well, that's the
trust
thing.
but
Well, don't
you
even
know,
trust
so
me, Dan. I'm saying, don't trust me what you say. And it sounds weird, but I always check myself. Do not listen to my words. Go to God yourself. Ask Jesus yourself. You
I
got
agree.
to do that on your own.
Well, I
don't
believe
want
it's
to say
up to
that
everybody to
because I
seek
mean, you know,
those
you're a great
answers,
guy,
right?
but I it's just, you know how many people have had lied to me, preachers and pastors, even taking scripture, manipulating this and that, and you're like, wait, what's going on here? So you find that on yourself. Take that responsibility and feel the love of God and help Him guide you. Because you said you went to Jesus. They do that, you know, and use this
Hey,
in your heart. Say, man,
dude,
you know what I mean, right?
I mean, I
Because
cannot deny what happened to me and the things that I've witnessed and the things I've been a part of. So, you know, for me
well,
to deny what
now
took
that's
place and what's happened after calling upon that name, you know, would
yeah.
be I would be remiss by doing so. So I cannot turn my back on what took
Well,
place.
here's the thing: is Dan, I gotta be honest with you. I now supposedly, and I haven't wasn't doing drugs or drinking this and that. That I have talked to Jesus now, not through Astro Ascension, but I don't do that new age stuff. He has talked to me directly. Okay, only about 4 or 5 times when I was way off path. He's like, Kirk, you're off path. Get back on path here. And so he kind of like follows you around and monitors, make sure that every one of us is on path. And if you're leaning off, he'll correct you. Okay. But the problem I've had with that is that there was times that somebody's interfering with me. It's hard to explain. That somebody was trying to interject when I was trying to communicate with them. It sounds weird. So I always say, is this Jesus, this Lord, this one that loves us, this, and I kept trying to get him to validate it. And he'd have to validate it like 3 times. I said, is this really the Lord? And then sometimes if somebody would interject, and I don't know if it's Satan or what the heck, like some other stuff in the system was trying to create confusion and cause me frustration. Now, Satan is real though, because in a way, in the system, because he has threatened to kill me. I think we talked about this before, over 10 times. He sent naked photos of my phone from ladies in Colorado, show me they want to marry me or this and have naked photos. And but what's really, you're gonna laugh about this, is weird because his body one time when they sent me to New York City for a mission, it was supposed to be for Jesus, that he kept messing with my phone and crap. And I said, Satan, I said, stop it. I said, you get to sleep because I gotta get up tomorrow. And I said, you must be tired. And he goes, yeah, I'm kind of tired. And I said, I said, you have a good night, Satan. You know what he said? He said, you have a good night, Kirk. And I'm like, what? You know what he said? I said, you have a good night. You know what he said? Dan, I said, you have a good night. He goes, you have a good night, Kirk. But I slept like a damn baby. I'm like, you're kidding me. So that was the wildest thing. And so, you know what I mean? He was messing my phone and screwing around with me. And,
well,
you know, with TikTok and isn't that crazy?
Well, it's funny that you bring up TikTok.
Sorry.
Somebody mentioned TikTok earlier, and
yeah,
I started thinking about it. It's TikTok. Let's break down TikTok. So I find it funny that they call this app TikTok, just like I had mentioned DLive is an anagram for devil, and you have TikTok, which is TikTok. Well, what is TikTok? What goes TikTok, Kurt?
I'm sorry, what is what?
What goes TikTok, Kurt?
It keeps breaking on me, Dan. I'm sorry.
What goes TikTok?
Well, a clock.
Yes.
TikTok.
Okay. What is in reference to time?
What is in reference to time?
Yeah. So what do we reference time as? What is have you ever heard of Chronos?
Chronos, not a whole lot, to be honest.
Chronos is right. Chronos is okay. So if you go back far enough, you find out Chronos is the god of time, and Chronos is related to Saturn.
Oh, okay.
And Saturn is related to Satan, and it's called TikTok. And it's like, you know, all these. It's like you can just follow it back and understand, like, and then of course, you know, like, dude, there's some weird shit on that app, right? Like, I mean, me and Fizzy checked it out, you know, and we brought to our attention. We're like, holy shit, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's
weird.
satanic. I'm not kidding you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
So go ahead. I want to hear your story.
it's just a weird, yeah. I mean, like I get why, you know, I understand why people do silly videos, but these are a little strange. And you know, all I'm saying is like it's a worshiping of yourself. It's putting yourself out there like that, and just in my opinion,
Really?
you know, creating idolatry of your persona, you know, and then that's what we become. We've become like a bunch of narcissistic assholes that are running around just like loving each other, loving
right,
you're
yeah.
loving the image of yourself, loving the flesh. In my
The
opinion,
whole
like
world's
that,
going on about itself.
yes, yeah,
That's what
exactly.
I've said before too. Yeah, we don't care
Yeah.
about like art and exploration and creation and all that anymore. Too busy going on
No.
about ourselves.
Oh, good
Yeah, we're
point.
too
Good point. You
entrenched.
actually nailed it dead on.
Yep.
We've
It's
lost
sort of-
that. We've lost
yeah.
that so much. Everything's become artificial. It's all artificial. You know what I mean? Everything's become like a virtual reality. We're so much of that artificiality. Like you said, we've got back to our creativeness, our art, and all these more natural, universal, you know what I mean? So, yeah, well said. That's, you were like, you know what I mean? No, I don't want to change, segue back the other direction, but see, that's even Ty Vance talks about how Satan, he said, this way back then, he goes, he goes, I'm understanding computers, all these other things, and I don't want, you know, because you have to go back, just do a YouTube search on Time Bandits, Satan versus Supreme Being, or just, or something, right? And he talks about how he goes, you know, once I understand computer technology and then all these things, then I'm going to make everybody's life a nightmare. And it talks about how he said, you're God. He goes, the Supreme Being is, he mocks, he goes, he creates 43 species of bird. He goes, what a waste of time. He goes, that's ridiculous. 43 species of bird. He goes, he has nothing better to do to create these natural things. He goes, slugs are useless. He goes, you let slugs that work and be slaves, and that should do something instead of just creating species of birds. And then, I mean, it gets ridiculous.
This is in Time Bandits.
It's exactly kind of what's happened. You take control of the you know, we talk about D-Wave computers, CERN, all this artificial technology, that it's possible that Satan has, you know, sometimes somebody said he's blended reality with this artificial world, but I don't know. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
No, that could be Satan's great deception. You know, we like what, how we're being deceived. Yeah, how we're being deceived essentially, to how our perception of this world has been manipulated, right? I mean, everyone pretty much agree on that. Like, you know, we don't know. We assume, you know, a lot of us are, you know, experiencing this and realize there's something afoot here, but we're just not quite sure. And it could be very well be a satanic deception. Absolutely, you can't rule that out. I wouldn't.
Yeah, the question is to what level, right?
Right. Yeah, it could be. You know, could be huge. And
the deception.
You know,
yeah.
But you understand though, the Great Deception is the Great Awakening. Because I'm be honest with you, I wasn't really paying attention to spiritual stuff. I was kind of agnostic, you know. And I'm like, and boy, I tell you what, Mandela Effect came along this deception. I said, man, my eyes lit up, and I said, what is going on here? You mean there's this whole spiritual world of about 90% of things spiritual, or spiritual warfare? And I said, I mean, I blew my mind. So you realize, you know, that God allowed this great deception with the Mandela Effect and things like that. But how many of us came waking up? I mean, I was talking to, you know, former messenger. He goes, man, he said, boy, I immediately grabbed the Bible, because he said, I lost my mind for a month after the history was changing. And he said, boy, my eyes lit up, and he goes, I almost lost my mind, Kirk. But he said, man, I found out it made me, he goes, that's kind of atheist. And he said, well, I came religious immediately after this, because he said, man, it was my salvation. And he said, it woke me up. He said, oh my gosh. So that, you know what I mean? So it's that whole thing about some negative being a positive, because like even with this virus, the coronavirus, you know, we know the whole stuff, but I'm telling you, I've seen some people firsthand say, oof, I better start reading the Bible and getting close to God, or in whatever way I can, because this is getting unreal, right? So those negatives can turn into a positive, you know what I mean? And but you know, it you know, so it kind of works its way out. And you got to remember that God is in control of this overall, and you know, God's above governments too. Now He does give us free will, and lets mankind we slipped up, right? But God will inject it and fix
Oh,
it. You know, you come in and say,
just
you know,
as
right?
in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of man. We know this, right?
Yeah.
We know that things
Now
are going
here's
to come back around, and mankind is going to slip up once again, and that's what we're facing right now. Many things are happening on those levels, and
but the thing,
some are right in our face, and some are very subtle and covert. But like things are happening, just like in those days, in those times. You know, I believe that they were manipulating. Well, the things were being manipulated to some degree, and manipulating humans, the manipulation of humans, the spiritual manipulation, things like that. There's been a huge uptick in all that stuff, especially the spiritual stuff, and people experiencing more and more, paranormal type activity and stuff like that. It's been a huge uptick. So I would say that we're definitely look, man. The season is here. Okay, we're in that season.
It's here.
We just don't know the day nor the time, but I'm telling you that we're fastly approaching. Okay, as you can see, what's taking place all around the world right now. This Corona thing, we're moving and continuing on a new level of strangeness. Okay, so just keep your eyes open because more is to come. That's
there's more to come.
Yeah,
that's the point you got to remember too. Now the thing is too is I want because everybody that's listening, all of us engaging together, is that you got to realize God saved His stuff that's for the end. Because even the prophet said we want to be there for the new beginning. And boy, if they would have known it'd been this such a mess. I know some got to go into the future, but you got to realize every one of us, as we're that it's for the glory of God and that He saved His toughest soldiers, all us ladies and gentlemen working together. And that's why He separated us first to make sure that we start working together and helping each one another and work as a team. Because they told me one time it was called like Team Dad, that we're all like trying to unite and work as a team. And so that's why everybody should take that with humble pride that you heard that call and you answered that call, and that every one of us as a part of that team and doing the best we can, because it's been a nightmare for a lot of us, right? The confusion and going through these times. But you got to realize God knows that you were going to be able to handle this, and that's what's awesome. So everybody should be proud of themselves to be able to answer that call and step up to help. Because I even talked to my brother once, and he just walked away. I said, "Man, you want to help us these other times?" He's like, "No, no," and just walked away immediately from this. So so that I just think that's kind of cool, right? That so many people that we actually care about these people and trying to help them, and we're going to win the end, and we're going to make a difference, right? We're going to win.
I believe that good always wins, and I think that, but for a time, things happen here, and like you said, free will, and there's all kinds of things. Mankind, look, we'll always screw up, and God knows that. So God has to sometimes intervene, and I just think that these are the cycles that we experience and we go through. We go through a time of grace and a time of sorrow because we continue to screw up because we believe the lie, man. That's the problem. We believe believe we start to become very narcissistic and very self-indulgent. Timothy talks about it, that we'll be lovers of ourselves, and we'll I don't know the exact scripture, but we'll be lovers of ourselves, and we'll we'll basically turn on our parents and things like that, and we won't respect our parents. We won't all this stuff is taking place right now, and they talk about this in the Bible because they've realized that this cycle continues to go on and on and on, and we do the same shit over and over and over, and and God intervene. So there you go. Yeah, what's up?
You need to read The Wheel of Time.
Do I?
It's the exact same thing. The battle between good and evil comes to a climax.
Yeah.
Somebody wins, the whole thing resets, and we do it all over again. And we've been doing it all over again for thousands of years. In the book.
See?
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, well, that's really interesting because the Bible basically lays out a timeline, doesn't it? Okay. Well, look, we're gonna break. We're gonna get
Well,
going
the
here, man.
thousand millennium, because that's the thing
Yeah.
you got to remember is it's been written. The baby boomers boomed it up. Generation X is the end of the generation, and then you got the millennium, which is written in the Bible, millenniums. So they told me one time that's our responsibility, is that Jesus and all the other prophets came to teach the parents to teach the children about God, and that our duty is to teach the children now, because there's only one direction. So our job is to teach the children to teach the parents, because here's the thing is, everybody has a parent. Every one of us has a father and a mother. Okay. But not every parent has a child. So it wasn't complete. So that to bring the millennium, and it's not Aquarius, that's what the dang B system wants. But to bring the millennium, that we need to teach the children to about God and to bring them back to God, so that they can help the parents. So it makes it 360. You know what I'm saying? That's the piece that has not been completed in this process. And so
there may be something to all that
Does that make
stuff with this. Yeah, I know. And the astrology is weird, and then the of course the new sign that popped up, the snake Ochifus or whatever, and you have all this stuff that's popping up Mandela related to many of us. I personally believe the Mandela affected people it need to be done. There were some of us that maybe needed some more clarification on this matter, and I think that for whatever reason we're being able to see what many don't see, and it's for our own good. It's for our own spiritual development, and that's what I kind of brush it off as, because it's such a weird sampling of people that are experiencing all this. We're a very small, tight-knit group. And yes, we're
very
conspiracy
small
theorists, but we're also, we like to, we're like to seek truth, and the Bible teaches us to seek truth and find what is good, okay, and stay with that. So that's what we do here, man. But let me go, Kirk, because I got to run, man. It's getting late, brother.
I got two quick thoughts, just 2 cents ago. You're busy. So one thing is, when I talked about last time, there's a gal named Miss Amy that she says that there is scripture that says we may have already been raptured, because this Christian rapture thing has kind of been created by man in the church, the Catholic Church being this. And Illuminati makes fun of it when they're cards. So, you know what I'm saying? It is possible. I know it sounds crazy that it talks about being put under the arm of the Lamb. And I told you that it is possible, because you've been raptured, you're like this duplicate earth that that's being controlled by Satan beast system, that the Lord or God's going to come in and rescue us, that this is our final training to go back to original earth, where that we'll be doing what we need to do. Okay,
that'd be cool as shit. Well, if this was some sort of, you know what, if that happens,
my family and friends, I kid you not, I do not recognize them at all. So what's this?
Well, I don't know about all that. All I know is that something like that happened, where I somehow woke up one day and everything was sort of back to the way I remember. That'd be badass. I'd be like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Not to say that will happen.
So
all kinds of, the stars look normal again. The pyramid, the Great Pyramid's back in its original position. I'd be like, what the hell?
Right?
Imagine us getting together, dude. Wouldn't we have a bond? Holy shit. In that world. Like, dude, where we were, right? What we just experienced. Like, how would we even tell that story? Okay. Well, let me go, bro, because it's late and I got to run.
I know. One last thing, though, and then I get shut up. You got to go.
Oh, God, dude, I got to go. Yeah.
Guy named Dowtree. He says, guys, you understand? He goes, I used to be a preacher and a veteran. He goes, he's a veteran for 27 years. No, he's a preacher for 27 years. A former veteran. He goes, here's the thing is, he goes, I don't care if it's a simulation, a matrix, this. He goes, let's just do our job. He goes, man, just quit worrying about all this stuff and we'll note it. But he said, we are going to fight Satan and we're going to fight the beast system and just do our duty. He said, he said, I'm tired about fighting about the Christians, this and this and this, and fighting about the Catholics, this and this. He goes, I get it. We're kind of like in a simulation computer. He goes, let's just beat the system and get this over with. And I thought, man, he's pretty dead on, isn't he? Right? And he goes, once you realize that we're playing a game of life and souls, he said it takes that pressure off. He goes, I'm not afraid to die now. He goes, I'm not afraid to die because he goes,
shouldn't be afraid to die in the name of Jesus anyway. You should have realized
Yeah,
at that
right?
point, like, well, I mean, it should have been pretty apparent what is going on. Like that aspect of, I haven't been afraid of death for years because, you know, I realized, you know, who and what I was through God.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only thing I was worried about is
So-
like how it would come about. Like, was it going to be martial law? Was it going to be put in a FEMA camp? Was it going to be tortured?
Yeah.
Waterboarded to death?
Yeah, we
That was the
totally
fear.
head under
Like
guillotine.
how, well, and then I think about it now, and because I seen what reality, at least some degree, is, I realize that, yeah, okay, I'd have to go through a little, if I go through a little bit, oh well, you know. But the thing is I know ultimately where I'm going back, so that I don't care about. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But look, man, it's been a good talk. Thanks again for the call. Okay.
Well, hey,
we got to
thank you
run.
so much, Dan. Thank you for
All right,
that.
man.
And I forgot else you had on there. Well, and also you don't forget to thank the people actually on the comment board too, because everyone else you were working together, and so anyway, you guys are awesome. All right.
All right, man.
So,
thank you, brother.
Thank you guys. All right.
All right, man. Take care.
Hey, take care, brother. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right,
Good night.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was Kirk, as you can tell. I play the role of the Gorn this round, and that was a good fight. Good fight. I hope you guys didn't notice my zipper that I was wearing in the Gorn suit.
Is that the one that's listed as the worst fight scene in the entire history of television?
Next time Kirk calls in, I'm going to play the clip from Kirk fighting the Gorn.
I love that thing.
It's so funny, like, dude. It's like he's literally fighting like Barney's cousin. Like, it's so weird. So bizarre. But yeah, anyway, thanks, Kirk, for the call. And as always, hey, it's been fun hanging out with you guys. Hey, thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. Thank you, crew, for being a part of this one. Is there anything you guys want to say before we head out of here?
Yeah, I'm beat.
Yeah,
just come back tomorrow.
I was getting past fizzy time for sure, and so I don't know if Noble's still with us. You still with us, No?
I am.
Oh, good deal. All right, man. All right, look.
In spirit.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, good. We have another late night 78. Aurora and Borax, Catherine Snows, Dean Johnson with the claw, Hannah Walker, Mandela Mile, Nico, PG 2424, Splatter 420, and True TNT. And this list has dwindled because we're hitting. God, we're on the East Coast. We're like, is this almost 5 o'clock? No, wait. 2:21, so 3:30 in the morning on the East Coast. So yeah, pretty late for you guys. But you know what? Yeah, thanks guys for being a part of this one again. Like I said, tomorrow night, Mandela Monday, 9:30 or thereabout start time. So the room is up and ready to go. You should see it on the channel, so it won't pop up suddenly. Anyway, it's already there, ready to happen. So
It's already 4:20, or it's 4:20 where I'm at. Just thought I'd mention that.
4:20 where you're at. That's right. Yeah, you're in that
Perfect place.
Perfect place. You can't be. How far are you? If you drove west, how far are you from the time zone, like where it cuts off? Does it cut through your city, or is it that close?
No. Our province in New Brunswick, which is small provinces, are Atlantic time, and then once you go into Quebec, that's Eastern time.
Okay, so you have to get to Quebec.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's quite a few hours away. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Not as many as it used to be. I'll tell you that damn much. Holy cow! I think it's missing a couple hours, but it's probably a good 10 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that damn time zone. But yeah, look, guys. It's been a fun show, fun broadcast. Thanks again for the birthday wishes and everything, and I appreciate everybody. And hey, we'll be back shortly, man. We'll be back in no time. 2 shanks of a lamb's tail. So you guys hang tight, and we'll be back here tomorrow, or today. Have a great night, guys. Good night.